What's up, man? It's your boy Boss, bringing you
another one.
Finesse, two of
them. All right, bringing you
another one.
Yeah, man. So obviously, I have not stopped. I have not stopped, and I'm bringing you like this one. It's gonna be a little bit out the box. All right. I want y'all to really try to, hear me out on this one, because when I'm talking about this part of the chapter, it might rub some people wrong. So you gotta hear me all the way out. Like, listen to it. All right. Because I'm constantly looking at different ways the Dallas Cowboys can improve. And so when I'm dealing with this particular topic, this is a controversial topic because it involves Dak Prescott. All right? And Dak is very polarizing. I don't care what side you on, he's going to be polarizing. So we dealing with today chapter 11 of my book. Alright, we're dealing with chapter 11. And in chapter 11, that's the quarterback. So we go look at different ways that the Dallas Cowboys can improve. So y'all just kind of sit back, relax, come with an open mind, and hopefully this is going to be a show that moves us closer to a championship. I'll be right back. Boss Cowboy Sports. Let's go. Yeah, man. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Get up in here. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. All right. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Obviously, this is one, like I said before, this is very polarizing. I'm just being honest. Yeah, it's very polarizing when you're dealing with Dak Prescott and the quarterback. So, like I said before, make sure y'all stay with me on this one, because this one gonna probably make some of y'all mad, because y'all might misunderstand where I'm coming from, okay? But this is about improvement. So, I'm gonna lay out some ideas that I think is gonna put us in a better position as a team when it comes to quarterback. Because like I say, every year I write a book about different ways the Dallas Cowboys can improve, and I go position by position. Okay, or a group, especially when it's a big group of free agents, So obviously when you're dealing with the Boss Cowboy guide, it's a big part of the guide to deal with the free agents that we are acquiring, right? And so this is the updated list of all the free agents, right? So you can see the team on the surface looks better. Just on the surface, the receiver room looks better. The corner room clearly looks better. The guard room looks around the same. It's not that bad. The defensive room looks better. The safety room is better. The defensive line in terms of the interior is better. The quarterback is pretty stable with Cooper Rush. So when you look at, obviously, we go start with, and we always do the same thing. We start with our guys, right? So it's the same process every time, where we first take a look at within. All right. So when I take a look at within, we starting with Dak. So Dak obviously is a franchise quarterback. I think he's a dream come true for the Dallas Cowboys. I really mean this. I think he was born to be our quarterback. I really do believe that. I spoke with his dad at training camp, and he was telling me the background of Dak and all of that, where Dak walked up to him at 3 years old and said, "I'm going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys." Like, wow, because his dad is a major fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, he's looking up to his dad, but he took a love of football early and the team. So it was times to where before he was even our quarterback, he was a fan like any one of us. He critiqued Romo. He critiqued the team because it's his team. It is his team. So this is the deal about Dak. When you dealing with Dak, he also, as a fan, before he was our quarterback, he was a fan. All right. So as a fan of the Cowboys, you start learning the culture of the Cowboys. As he knows that he's going to be critiqued unfairly. He already knows that because he was born to be our quarterback. He understands the culture. He understands the spotlight of being a Dallas Cowboy quarterback. He understands it. So and he has the perfect temperament of a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, because it's a ton of pressure on quarterbacks with the Dallas Cowboys. A ton of pressure. See, it's just crazy that he came back from a thumb surgery where he had to have a screw put in his thumb, came back at record time in 5 weeks, destroyed Detroit, was top 2 in quarterback efficiency, put 3 touchdowns on them boys, and you know what the mainstream media called it? Rusty. I was going back and forth with a weird Cowboy fan today, just keeping it real, who called Dak average. And it's like, man, y'all stupid. Just stop being dumb. Like, Dak has been top 5 in almost every major category. The word average does not belong in the same sentence as Dak Prescott. That is just dumb. And somebody sometimes got to tell people to their face,
oh, hell no.
and it's just a whole bunch of just stupid criteria that's always put on Dak. Like, I heard somebody say, if he don't get me to the NFC Championship, I'm going to go find another quarterback. Okay, bro. Listen, it's not on quarterbacks to drive teams to the NFC Championship. That's crazy. It takes a team to do that. So anyway, most importantly, since we kind of talking about the quarterback room, just giving background, the main thing about Dak, as we give him the background, is what's going to make Dak better, right? So they made the right decisions of getting rid of Kellen Moore. Everybody know about Mike McCarthy saying that he is, and spent about 4 hours looking at his interceptions and all his interceptions. And he said that's common. That's something they always do every offseason. So this wasn't something that was unique to this offseason. That's something that they always do. But obviously they're going to make it big news in Dallas because they're trying to paint a false narrative to pretend like Dak is a turnover machine. And it was really more an anomaly. Something that hardly ever happens in his career, because Dak historically is very safe with the football, very smart with the football, historically, until they got too aggressive with those option routes. And I think he overbelieved in it, which I still fault him for that. But this is the big deal that I'm gonna say about Dak. If I go back to where the Dallas Cowboys themselves was at their best. A lot of people ain't gonna want to see this. Hear this, but I'm gonna tell you. When the Dallas Cowboys was at their best, and this goes for almost any team, this is not even unique to Dallas. When the Dallas Cowboys was at their best, they was basically committed to getting behind the running game. Took a lot of pressure off of him. And Dak, in an offense that was committed to the running game, as a rookie, only had 4 interceptions on the year and won 11 games straight. But see, some people would try to create a narrative, right, that Dak can't throw over 35 times. No, that's pretty bad for any quarterback. Any quarterback. Aaron Rodgers was his most efficient behind Jones and getting behind that running game. Even Romo, best year in wins and efficiency was when DeMarco Murray had 1,800 yards. And that's why, honestly, I don't get the people who are poo-pooing on the idea of rebuilding the offensive line. I don't get it. Because if you because I said this today, when we had Ron Leary in 2014, 15, and 16, that offensive line was the reason that we was able to carry average to bad defenses. It was our ability to have clock control and complementary football. And it was mostly behind that middle three: Leary, Fredericks, Zach Martin. You could not stop Dallas from running the ball. You couldn't. And those running backs at the time was not even as talented as Pollard and Zeke. So it was the offensive line that really held on to the dominance and best years of Romo and Dak. Because in 2014, well, the record before Dak was 10 consecutive wins. Dak broke that record in 2016 with 11 wins, and it was basically because obviously we was committed to the run, and it took a lot of pressure off him. But it's also one more thing as we kind of looking back before we start looking at different ideas. Also, just what's up, Keystone? He say, "Boss, my bro for life." Yeah, you too, big dog. Appreciate that. I'm gonna call you today too, man. We gotta work out some stuff on this content. I'm gonna call you. I think I gotta wait for us to get some good content out. But another thing about Dak at the time that I gotta talk about, it's important that I bring to the light. I think Dak is at his best when he's pushed. I'm just being honest. I mean, anybody, in my opinion, my boy say, Montana say, "Boss is trench gang." Yes, I am in the trench gang. I don't see why, Montana, honestly, I don't see why it's not more in the trench game. And then my boy say, and Big Lon Leary was undrafted. Let me say one thing about Leary, because yes, he was undrafted, but isn't it funny that we still are trying to replace Leary? Like, think about, and some people might say, boss, you don't have to move Tyler to left guard. We can just go get any guard, or we can go find us a starter. I think the Dallas Cowboys at this point, after watching the years after Leary, should know better than that. We should know better than to try to just go get a starter. Because we did that. And we picked, and we didn't really prioritize guard, right? Or rebuilding the whole offensive line to its dominance that carried us 2014, 15, and 16. Just think about that. Didn't we try to get a starter with Connor Williams? How did that go? How did that go? All them damn penalties. But he was a starter. He was serviceable. You want serviceable? That's what you want for your championship team? You want serviceable going against Hargraves? Then we even got Connor McGovern at pick 90. He was a starter, but you want serviceable?
Oh, hell no.
Some people might say, well, boss, you can't just put all the resources at offensive line. Why not? Why not? Because we showed like those days when we was controlling the ground, when Knock-Me McFadden was able to get 1,000 yards in 10 games. Oh, see, y'all forgot. I ain't forgot. We was able to get 1,000 yards with an old McFadden because of that offensive line. But boss, don't get aggressive. We don't need to get aggressive in the first round. All right, cool. But let me go back to Dak, because this is the bigger point I'm making about Dak. Dak played his best, in my opinion, when it was heat on him. That usually don't work that way, though. Just to be honest, it usually does not work that way. Usually when there's a quarterback controversy, the mental pressure breaks down the starting quarterbacks. Same thing happened with Wentz and Hertz. As soon as they drafted Hertz, the mental pressure of having somebody behind him broke him down. And I'm talking about Wentz. Hertz was drafted in second round and Wentz just went downhill. He could not handle the pressure of somebody looking down his neck. And that's the facts. But see, Dak is opposite. Yeah, I said Knock-Me McFadden. I mean that too, man. Dave Walker, he was Knock-Me. Knock-Me McFadden had 1,000 yards, knock knees, and knees knocking all the way downfield. Knock knees. Knock-Me boy. But Dak is the opposite. If the more pressure that's on Dak, I'm just being honest with you, the better he plays. Am I lying? Think about it. See, I'm gonna just speak real today. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm not with the shit today. I'm gonna speak my whole mind.
Bring it real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
Only absolute fools think 2016 was a perfect year. You are a fool. For anybody that say Dak had everything perfect, you are a fool.
Bring it real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
It was nothing perfect about 2016. First of all, he came in as the fourth string quarterback with no offseason. No training. Well, he had the training camp, but he didn't have that many starting opportunities to get chemistry with his weapons. Plus, on top of that, he had a loved quarterback literally breathing down his neck. Romo was loved. Super pressure. The only way he could actually even take over was to play perfect. Because if he would have lost in them first 7 games, outside of that first game, they would have quickly reinserted Romo. So the pressure was play perfect or sit down.
Another one.
What did you think Dak did? Dak was almost literally perfect.
Need the cash pronto. I don't throw interception like Romo.
With major pressure. So let me tell y'all something. If I see that you play better under pressure, guess what a good coach go do? They go put pressure on you because they know that bring the best out of you. Appreciate the super chat. He said 2016 was destiny and we didn't fulfill it afterwards. Ooh, fire super chat. I don't think people ready for that, Key. I don't think people ready for that. But as I'm kind of going through my thoughts on this, I'm just saying, because let me give you a perfect example. Everybody know me and the OC have excellent chemistry. Well, you should know that. We know each other. We brothers. I was the best man in his wedding. I've been knowing him for years. But because I know him also intimately, I know how to get the best out of him sometimes. And he know how to get the best out of me. This is a true story. True story. So the OC, when we was in college playing for U of H, this is a true story. We was getting ready to play our spring game, right? And I just wanted, because he my friend, I wanted him to go crazy. I wanted him to fully solidify his job and just go hard. That's just what I wanted, because he's a friend. So I'm like, I want him to go hard. So I didn't go to him and say, hey, bro, I want you to play good today. You know what I did? I talked to the OC in a language that to get the best out of him. Michael Lockhart said, boss, they keep giving us the wrong guys. In the words of Big Nate Newton, we need a big greasy with push ability. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's why I'm fighting for this left guard. It's not popular to move Tyler Smith inside. I've heard a few people talk about it. I haven't heard. To me, it should be a bigger lobby for left guard and Tyler Smith, especially with where the tackles are sitting this year strategically in the first. We might not see another year like this to where you got starter grade first round tackles at the bottom of the first. This don't happen every year. This is a unique year to where we could get our guy to literally rebuild us into a top 3 offensive line. Yeah, so I stand with Mr. Nate Newton. Yes, Mr. Nate Newton, I stand with you on a big nasty left guard. And I honestly don't want to take the risk of waiting around 2 and 3. I don't. We've done that. Connor McGovern, he was a blinking light. Man. Connor Williams, he was a primary pick. Man, I ain't hearing that. Let's go ahead and, in my opinion, go ahead and move the guy who's a natural sick dog left guard and left tackle. But we know he's a day one left guard. Don't play with me. I don't feel like playing today. I'm speaking my mind. I'm not with the shit.
Bringing real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
I'm not with it today. I'm just not with it. I don't feel like the faking. I don't. All right, man, I was talking about Dak. All right, but this the deal. When it comes to Dak, it's that he plays better with pressure behind him. Okay, so that goes into some of the ideas that we go talk about today. Is how to put pressure on Dak, how to get, and it's, I was talking about the OC. Let me finish that story. Because it's funny. So I went up to the OC. I said, say, bro, is it true what they saying about you? He said, what? What's going on, boss? I say, is it true that you hold a lot? He said, what? I said, yeah, bro, I'm just curious, bro, because, obviously I'm playing on the defensive side. And when they talk about you like you a scrub. He said, who? I said, Ahmad said you hold a lot. All these guys basically saying, you sorry. Are you sorry? Like, for real, bro. You my dog. I know you starting, but are you sorry, bro? Now, I did this with a straight face. I was lying. Because I knew what got him going. He said, they said that, boss? I said, yeah, bro. I'm just being honest with you, bro. I'm just telling you, bro. So if you holding, you might want to ease up off that. Because the word on the streets is you sorry. Boy, when I tell you the OC got mad, ooh, I ain't never in my life. I'm talking about in a game, I ain't seen the OC that determined. And I knew he was getting ready to go crazy because when I saw the OC right before our last scrimmage, right? Our last spring scrimmage game, the OC didn't shave. He was looking like he ain't take a bath in about 4 days. He was just looking nasty. I mean, just he ain't never looked that rough. He wasn't talking nobody. He was mugging everybody. The OC was just ready, and I watched him. He was killing. And then after the game, I told him, I said, OC, I was just lying. I said, nobody said that about you, bro. He said, oh, for real? I said, yeah. He said, man, I killed him my 30 day, boy. You had me hot. I said, I know, bro. I knew that would get the best out of you. The same thing with Dak. You know what I mean? If I see that competition brings the best out of him or having somebody really on his heels, I'm going to try to draft that way. I'm going to try to put pressure on my quarterback, not because I'm trying to replace him, but I want him to get the feeling that he could be replaced. I'm dead ass serious too. That's why I'm starting this show with, if you two in love with Dak, you won't understand the strategy I'm talking about. Because who I'm looking at and the people that I'm looking at, I sincerely want them to push that. So then that goes into the other guy that's inside, Cooper Rush. I've always from day one liked Cooper Rush. From day one, I've liked Cooper Rush. I was never surprised when he went on his runs, never. And I got the receipts to prove it. Because it's one thing about Cooper Rush that was always evident if you watched him closely. He is one of the most grittiest quarterbacks. Now, is he just a natural thrower? No. The strengths on Cooper Rush cannot be seen with athleticism or arm talent. The real strength of Cooper Rush is in his chest, his heart. He is mentally tough. And he showed that the first time he debuted. He showed that. Because, see, people forgot. He was not the number 2 quarterback. Remember, who was the number 2 quarterback when he showed up? Do y'all remember? It was Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was the number 2 quarterback. Cooper Rush basically had to unseat a favorite son of the organization. It's so many people that likely forgot, but when he was playing as a rookie in preseason, he had a higher passing rating than Mahomes, Watson, Kaiser. Like first round quarterbacks, he had to lock in to take out Kellen Moore. He had to lock in. See, to us, it's just preseason. But to him, it meant the world. His whole future depended on taking out a favorite son of this organization. And he locked in and did that damn thing. Matter of fact, in preseason, the 2 quarterbacks out of 4 games that had the highest passing rating was Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott. So, is it arm talent? No. But Somebody say just preseason. Yeah, to you. See, to you, to us that's sitting down, oh, it's just preseason. But to them, they whole careers depend on it. See, to us, it's just preseason. To them, my whole future depend on me playing good in these debut games that most people don't even watch. And he did. He did. By preseason game 4, they officially announced that Cooper Rush has replaced Kellen Moore as the second string QB. But they didn't give it to him. He had to take it. So, in terms of being a decent number 2 quarterback, that's all he is. This is what we can all say. He is not go freeze in big moments. Yeah. And then, yeah. And when you say, see, hey, it's what it is though. He say, when you're comparing it to Dak and Mahomes, yes, it's just preseason. But when you comparing it to trying to make a team, it's not just preseason. And whenever my quarterback that was undrafted in these warm-up games are putting up better passing ratings than Mahomes and Watson, who was first-round talents, I'm not going to complain. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to complain. Am I saying, because I know how some of y'all are. Not you, bro, because I don't think you coming like this at all. I just think you giving a counter argument. There's nothing wrong with a counter argument. I'm cool with counter arguments. This is fair. But I know how some of y'all are. I'm not saying Cooper Rush is Mahomes. I'm not saying he's Watson. But what I'm saying is when the pressure was on the line, he is showing that he's a pressure player. Now, can he just... It's some people, they might not be the best athletes, but you can trust them under pressure. That's all I'm saying, is you can trust them. So y'all remember Big Shot Bob? Do y'all remember Big Shot Bob? Who remember Big Shot Bob? Who is Big Shot Bob? Some of y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. Big Shot Bob. It's some players, they show up the best when the pressure is on. That is Cooper Rush. That's just what it is. So when you looking at our current room, our current room has a franchise quarterback, which I would rank, Robert Ory. I knew y'all knew Big Shot Bob, Robert Ory. Yeah, Ory. Big Shot Bob, Mr. Ory. Now, real quick, was Ory anything special during the season? Come on, let's keep it real. Was he ever special during the season? Womp womp. Hold on, where my button? But if it was game 7 and you needed to swing that ball around and you were down by 2 and you had 3 seconds, who you wanted to touch that ball last? Big Shot Bob. Because in that moment where most people would freeze and would be nervous and scared, it was one dude every time in the big moment for the big shot was go bang it. Bruh. Big Shot Bob. That's Cooper Rush. That's just what it is. That's what it is. I'm keeping it real. Is they nothing special during the regular season. But when it's the big moment, shit. But now I want to talk about one more thing since we're talking about these quarterbacks. This is the problem with the quarterbacks. We got us, I would say, a top 7 quarterback. For people that's saying top 15 or average with Dak, you are crazy. You are weird. But for those of us who got sense, we know Dak is in between 1 and 7. Right? So smart people already know Dak is a top 7 minimum quarterback. The problem with Cooper Rush is they don't really complement each other. Two different styles, right? You got two different styles of quarterback play. Now, Cooper Rush will know your offense. He's a smart guy. He will know your offense. He will do what needs to be done. But he is not even close to the arm talent of Dak Prescott. It's still too big of a deficit. It's still too big of a deficit at the quarterback position. It's just in terms of talent. In terms of heart, I love Cooper Rush. In terms of talent, so what is another way for the Dallas Cowboys to sneakily improve? Now this is where I want y'all to really hear me out, because I'm getting ready to make a case that you might not hear nowhere else. I think the Dallas Cowboys have a way to close the talent gap, but more so through systems. A system quarterback. Okay? And let me explain it. I think the Dallas Cowboys, and I said this because now I'm starting to see the word getting out on what I'm saying, but I said this early. The Dallas Cowboys should try to mimic the Hertz model with their backup quarterback. They should mimic the Hertz model. Let me explain it. So don't listen to Philly fans, because they greatly inflate Hertz way too damn much. See, what they try to do is they try to make Hertz seem as if he's a pocket passer that so happen can run the ball. Nah, I'm gonna tell you what Hertz is. Hertz is one of the first Wildcat quarterbacks. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. Wildcat quarterback. See, y'all remember? And see, I swear to God, y'all already ahead of me. See, this is why Cowboy fans, y'all the damn best. I don't care what nobody say. I got Duggan on my list too for that same reason. The same reason. Cameron, I'm the same. Y'all already ahead of me. Yeah, a Wildcat quarterback. So this is what I mean by wild. Y'all remember when the Wildcat first hit the league? And it was seeming for a little while like it was unstoppable. But the problem was the people that was running the Wildcat, where they was putting athletes at quarterback to create a numerical disadvantage, they couldn't throw. So the Wildcat got figured out because it wasn't as dangerous of having 6 weapons, because most quarterbacks only have 5 because they don't count themselves as a rushing threat. But when you got a Wildcat quarterback, you have a rushing threat that can throw the ball, and where you don't have to depend on them having the best arm talent. I just need to build around them enough to where we have the advantage of that quarterback's legs mixed with enough accuracy to be dangerous. So you don't have to be elite in throwing to run this offense, to run an RPO style offense. And let me also tell you this too. This is likely the future. And it'll be smart for the Dallas Cowboys to be ahead and not behind. So instead of going to get quarterbacks, right, like Cooper Rush, hear me out, to where you know they are far from the arm talent of their starter. Well, why not go with a quarterback that has the legs that's dangerous, which helps their arm? Where their legs, I'm gonna say that again, where their legs help their arm. It's a lot easier to build around a Hertz type than to go find a quarterback that's a pure thrower. See, and I'm going to say one more thing. And then he say, boss, didn't Mike McCarthy try with Ben DiNucci? He'll try it again with other QB. I don't think he really tried it with Ben. Not the style of offense I watched them run, coach. I would want to see us literally take, because they was trying to throw that thing with Ben. Remember, coach, when Ben had his first start with Kellen Moore, he threw the ball over 38 times. That wasn't, in my opinion, coach, that wasn't using Ben like a Wildcat quarterback. In my opinion, they wasn't doing that, you know? So I would actually, in my opinion, coach, I would want them to try it, to really do it. You know what I mean? Like, really where you try to use their legs as a major advantage. So let me show y'all how deep this rabbit hole goes. Go look at the rushing attempts on Hertz. Oh my God. The rushing attempts on Hertz, man, this is a damn shame. It's right there with Pollard. Matter of fact, it was years to where Pollard had less rushing attempts than Hertz. Think about that. So in 2021, Hertz had 139 rushing attempts. In 2021, he had just as many rushing attempts as freaking Tony Pollard. Appreciate the super chat, JT. He say, keep up the great work, boss. I appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that, the super chat. But just think about that. This is also why I'm telling y'all, this Hertz stuff that they trying to hype up, it ain't gonna last. Cause you can only run a quarterback like that before he get paid. After he get paid, it's gonna be some major conflicts in Philly. And just think about it from common sense. Think about it. If you the owner, you are the one that's writing a $50 million check. It gotta come out your pocket. Are you comfortable with a $50 million check with these type of rushing attempts? What's the first thing you go do as the owner? Keep it real. Keep it real. What's the first thing you go do as owner? I can tell you what I would do. I would come right on down and talk to my coach and say, hey, coach, it's time to change the quarterback style, because I don't want my investment used like a running back. So I'm telling y'all, that's gonna happen. I don't care if the coach like using Hertz like this is winning football. It works. It's winning football. The owner gonna be like, you gotta find another way, dog. I'm not gonna have my multi-million-dollar investment used like a running back. I'm not gonna continue to put him at risk of taking a hit. Yeah. He said, boss, I agree with Coach Moore. McCarthy had handpicked DiNucci, but the OC did not know how to use him. McCarthy like mobile QBs. Yeah. And that's why I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Is what I want to see is us go after quarterbacks to where they, and I'm being honest, the quarterbacks I'm looking at, they not go have the arm talent of Dak. Okay? But they have enough arm talent to build around them to potentially win with them. So I got two, all right, in this draft. Two. To me, that perfectly fit. Perfectly fit. We go talk about both of them. Hendon Hooker is my clear number one. He's my clear number one. This dude, if anybody fits the Hertz model, and let me hold on. Let me slow down and say something too. This is the other thing that I like about this vision of a mobile second string quarterback, because in my vision, this is what I would want to do. I would get these guys or type of guys every 3 years, because I would still run them into the ground with Dak on my team. I'm gonna come back to that. I would still use these dudes with Dak. Basically, they would do the ugly work. Dead serious. Dead serious. I would draft these dudes every 3 years. And Coach Moore said, I like the UCLA quarterback. Yeah. I think, Coach, the people that fit the most is first Hendon Hooker, and then after him, Max Duggan. I think those two fit the Hertz model the best. So let's kind of take a look at this. All right. Now, this is funny because I said this about Max Duggan before he said it. If anybody remember, I said, and I'm keeping it real, I said this on the draft show 2 weeks ago. I said I will want Max Duggan because I want a quarterback that I can use like the Hertz model. I would say Hertz model. You know what else we could call it? The Taysom Hill model. Hear me out. The Taysom Hill model. You can call it the Hertz model or the Taysom. I don't care what you call it. But basically, it's where we basically like, we getting ready to use you, but we finna use your legs. We finna use your legs, and we just need you to be good enough at throwing to where you give our offense a whole nother dimension. Oh, goddamn, I ain't even see. Common sense, you ahead of me. This is what I love, y'all. Ooh, we got the smartest damn fans in the world. I can't even start my presentation without y'all finishing my sentences. Oh, I always say this and I'm right. You can host a show with almost any Cowboy fan. I promise I could get any one of y'all on the phone and we can literally do a whole show. That's how smart our fans are. I love y'all. I really do. But that's what I see is the Taysom Hill model. So if you go look, that's what I see with Max Duggan. So a lot of people like to knock him talking about his arm and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't want you because of a big arm. I want you because you have a trait of winning and playing good in big games, and you got the athletic ability, and you throw good enough. And plus, I can run your ass into the ground and replace you every 3 years. But you might also have an it factor that can potentially push my quarterback. And I will continue to go for it. I will continue to try to find guys that might have that it factor. I would play them in certain games, certain drives as a switch up, try to build momentum in them and keep pressure on my starting quarterback where he plays best with the Taysom Hill model. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they love Dak. They never want to imagine Dak sharing the quarterback position. But I actually think it could be a good idea, especially if you're using them basically like a crash dummy, to where I want you to be out there playing wild and fast. We not trying to protect you. We trying to use you. We not trying to protect you. We gonna treat you like Hertz. We gonna run you into the ground. Just like Taysom Hill. But see, I don't want us to be stupid like the Saints who say, hey, let's pay Taysom Hill a contract. No, I ain't with all that. Nope, I don't want to do all that. I just want to now. If he earned it from just growing, okay, I would. But I'm definitely ain't going into it thinking that that's gonna happen. So this is the thing, courtesy of Fish, right? Jalen Hurts provide a model for NFL draft QB Max Duggan. So let's click on this link. Let's talk about it. So one of the things that's funny is Max Duggan himself, and he said this after I said it. Anybody saw? I said this on the draft show. I said I want Max Duggan to be like a Jalen Hurts, especially when I saw him run that 4.5. I said, "Oh shit! Ooh, wait, ooh, wait, ooh, wait." And then look at what Mr. Max Duggan said. TCU quarterback and 2023 NFL draft prospects Max Duggan isn't trying to say he's equal of Jalen Hurts. He just answering the question in an innocuous way that will almost surely be framed wrongly as a hot take. I agree, because people misunderstood me when I said it. Yeah. Oh, you play quarterback? Common sense? Damn. That's what's up, common sense. Appreciate the super chat. Probably someone I kind of play like would probably be like Jalen Hurts. Kind of a tough-minded leader. Can make the throws anytime. Duggan said when asked on the Rich Eisen show to talk about his future. Can lead a group of men, fought through adversity, things of that sort. That's true, bro. That is the pedigree of Max Duggan. It really is. Man, listen, I'm from Texas. See, some of y'all ain't from Texas. I'm from Texas. I'm from DFW. What TCU did behind his leadership, bruh, don't take that for granted. Don't take that for granted that he led them to the national championship. Don't take that for granted. Bro, I've been in DFW my whole life. I ain't never see somebody lead TCU the way he did. Shit. Boy, y'all better hear me. Am I saying he's everything? I'll take calls, Star. I'll take some calls. But man, I'm not going to take that for granted. I don't care. He said till he met my dogs. Oh yeah, he got smoked when he met Georgia. Ooh, help. Ooh, he got smoked. But it was Cinderella-ish up into Georgia. It was Cinderella-ish. Ooh. Yeah. And so, all right. And so if you thinking I'm saying I want him to come slang that thing for the Cowboys, I'm not saying that. I want y'all to understand the vision of what I'm saying. Am I saying he's gonna come in and replace Dak?
Oh, hell no.
But am I saying could we use him like a gadget player? Yep. So let's keep going. And this is why I'm happy to see this too. First, he sees himself like Hertz. Before he said it, I said I saw him like a Hertz. And I said I could see the Dallas Cowboys using him to give another dimension to our potential second string quarterback. Because let's just be honest, I love the heart of Cooper Rush. I love the grittiness. But expecting him to pocket pass us, I ain't seeing it. Just, yeah, he went on a run, but nah, bro, come on now. I ain't with all that. Yeah, and I hear you on this too. I hear you on this. We go talk about this too, Coach. He said, I'm telling boss, the QB they pick will tell how negotiations go on. Hooker, it's going bad. Max Duggan, great. I agree. And I definitely agree with that. And to a degree, I like it. And so, this is another thing I want to show y'all about Max Duggan. Max Duggan is also, and I'm going to get into both of these guys' film, and then I'm going to take some calls. All right, because I'm going to look, because I see a lot of y'all talking about Dorian from UCLA. I got to look at his vertical ball, because the thing I like about Max and Hooker, I like the vertical balls in terms of completions. I got to go take another look at Dorian before I co-sign that idea. But I'm going to go back and take a whole nother look, because I just looked at all the quarterbacks. I go look at Dorian one more time. Just make sure I ain't missed nothing. I appreciate it. So anyway, this is also the thing. The Cowboys are looking at him a lot. And I like it. I like it. So the Cowboys reportedly met with Max Duggan at the combine. They attended TCU Pro Day, of course, and hosted him at Dallas Day on Friday. So they met with him at the combine. They attended his Pro Day, and they hosted him. That's three things. I would say, based on me keeping up with the list of who the Dallas Cowboys are using resources to look at, they using the most resources to look at Duggan. The combine, Pro Day, and Dallas Day. That's three things. So let's get into his film. So, and this ain't a major, massive breakdown, but this should kind of wet your beak in terms of a vision of what I'm talking about. So if you look at his game, right, and we know he's also fast. He runs a 4.5, right? The things that you see about him is kind of similar to Hertz, right? Where he's accurate enough, but when he takes off, he can be dangerous. You know, kind of Taysom Hill-ish, you know? To where he's good enough to deliver the football with enough accuracy, nothing major, but completing the ball to the open guy, right? And that's what you see. He can, you know, if a guy's open, he can pretty much throw it with a degree of accuracy, right? Active with his feet, scanning the field, the type of stuff you want to see, right? But as you continue to watch him, you start seeing more and more stuff that's Hertz-ish, right? So just, you know, the simple completions, they wasn't doing nothing too complicated with him. But as we kind of show this drive, is one thing that's going to remind you of Hertz, is the closer they get to the red zone, you go see them start really depending on his legs, right? Which is what I could imagine the Dallas Cowboys doing with him in games, like a red zone weapon. Or he would be a guy that I would want to roll out there on a drive that I'm determined to establish physicality, where I know we getting ready to go right at y'all. We running the ball, and we running a lot of Wildcat, but with a Wildcat quarterback. That's what I can see with Max Duggan. Because right around now, you getting ready to start see what I see, where you see them with the RPO, using him and his legs. And in this drive, they go do it over and over. The QB sneak right here, which is similar to what they do with Hertz a lot in short yardage. And then they never abandoned it. The more and more they was in the red zone, the more and more they stayed with the advantage, which was RPO, his legs, just like Hertz. So that's what I see with Max Duggan. That's what a lot of y'all see with Max Duggan. And that's why I love the fact that a lot of y'all already see the vision in which I'm talking about, where you can use him or Hendon Hooker as that type. So let's take a look at Hendon Hooker, all right, who I would definitely say, and I mean this when I say this, is the best value of the entire class. If he wouldn't have got hurt, he has true first round talent. He plays big in the biggest games. He's athletic as hell. But like Hertz, this is where he's just like Hertz to me. He has a very, 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 very good vertical ball. Hertz vertical ball is money. I can hate Philly all I want, but I never would tell a lie on the player and their skill set. I can call him a Wildcat quarterback, which some people would think is an insult. But shit, no. A Wildcat quarterback is dangerous until you pay him. Because it's hard as hell to account for 6 weapons. It's hard enough to account for 5 perimeter weapons. Now you gotta account for a quarterback that can run. Shit. Yeah. Yes. And this is a good, very, very, very good, very, 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 very good question. He say, boss, do you really want a gadget QB that can possibly tell what the play might be? Kind of like one-dimensional? Yes. See, that's why I'm saying a Wildcat quarterback. So you still got to be able to throw, Amp. You still got to be a vertical threat. Because see, if you're a Wildcat quarterback, likely you go draw that defense up. That's the key to Hertz. When they use his legs the way they use his legs, they always go create big plays because it's gonna draw that defense up, and it allows his vertical throwing ability to get behind him. So he's very, very efficient at the vertical throw. But what creates, in my opinion, Amp, the vertical throw is the threat of his legs. So yeah, I do want teams to say, oh, they putting in Hooker. Let's go ahead and stack the box. And then he'll turn around and bang you. That's the vision, bro. That's the vision I see. I'm just being dead honest. So taking a look at, this is the thing about Hooker that I love. He is really accurate, especially on in-breaking routes. You know, just watch him on them in-breaking routes. He throws great. Very good in-breaking thrower. But just like Max Duggan, he's also dangerous when he scrambles. You know, where you can use him as a Wildcat quarterback. And where I'm not depending on you to be, look at his throws on in-breaking routes. Just money. Every one of his in-breaking, and this is against Bama, man. This is a big game, and they won this game. But see, the thing about him, look, that throw, mechanically was ugly. Look at the mechanics on this. Look at the, oh man, come on, man. Didn't step into that throw at all. See, that one, that was a bad throw. That was a bad throw. I'm gonna be honest. That was a bad throw. He didn't. That's why it was off the way that it was. So, but you can basically, like I say, run him into the ground, because this is the guy that can be that guy that brings a Hertz type dimension to your offense. You know. So, and I'm showing all his throws. I ain't leaving none of these throws out. No. Yeah, so yes, they are two different things. So the RPO is basically a run pass option, see. But when I say Wildcat quarterback, see, the Wildcat was basically put in place to try to give the offense an advantage by having way more weapons than usual, because they were substituting athletes into the quarterback role to give the offense a numerical advantage. So the RPO is the play that you're running, right? The Wildcat is basically the personnel. That's the difference. So, except these quarterbacks that I call Wildcat quarterbacks, what I'm saying is I'm primarily using them for the advantage of their legs, but they could also throw. That's why I'm calling them Wildcat quarterbacks. Yeah. And then, and this is real though, I ain't mad at this. He say, you better not try to run a 205 quarterback into the ground, boss. I would. I'm just being honest. Cause see, this is the thing, Jay. This is their best chance of hitting the field. Cause I don't want them to hit the field to try to throw like Dak. Cause you can't throw like Dak likely. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to do with these quarterbacks is add a whole nother dimension to our offense. To where with Philly, it's super hard to stop Philly because of Hertz. You have to account for his legs. And it's hard as hell to account for his legs. So I'm not looking at these guys. I know it seems wasteful as traditional quarterbacks. I'm looking at these guys as weapons. You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking for you to play. I'm looking for you to come in and add another dimension similar to Taysom Hill was doing with Drew Brees. And if you get hurt, then we live with that because the game is dangerous. That's my take on it. You know? So I'm honestly, Jay Mitch, not looking at these guys as traditional quarterbacks where you go on a tour where we got to protect them. Put the red shirt on them, the red jersey on them, never touch them. That ain't me. I ain't thinking like that. I'm thinking we finna use y'all. The Taysom Hill model. It's different. The good thing is, yeah. And see, this is a good point. I like this. I like this. See, this plays into the trap of Philly. He said you got to make Hertz throw the ball. Exactly. So what would be the way that you would have to make Hertz throw the ball? Just think about it. Not you, everybody. What are the ways to where you have to make Hertz throw the ball? If you go have to make him throw the ball, you go have to stack the box. And if you have to stack the box, what's going to happen to AJ Brown and D Smith? That's the trap. That's the trap of Hertz. That's what make Hertz dangerous. Hertz not dangerous if you like, I want to use him like a traditional quarterback, a drop back quarterback. Hertz is dangerous because if you don't stop my legs, I'm going to use my legs on you all day long. And if you do try to stop my legs, I'm going to throw vertical on you because my guys going to have one-on-one. I'm setting y'all up for a lose-lose just based on the style of my play. And guess who trying to go ahead and develop their offense to steal the Taysom Hill and Hertz model? Chicago. And coach said, Philly 50% of the time throw play action out of Wildcat. That is what made that formation so dangerous. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know we not philosophy fans, but they did. Exactly. And see, this the thing, coach. It ain't cute. It ain't fancy. Anybody that want to see pure, beautiful, traditional quarterback play, don't look at Hertz. Because you're not going to see it. But if you want to see a football style that you can actually take a quarterback that don't have to be super elite at throwing, but you can build around him to the point your offense can be dangerous even though he is not just mechanically beautiful like other ones. All right, let me take the super chat. My boy M say, I feel you, but I don't like it. It's option route-ish. Teams will fake a look to confuse the QB, a lesser quarterback. Well, I don't think it's option route-ish because, see, option route in itself is not bad. The option routes the way that Kellen Moore did it was bad because he was too aggressive with it. I don't mind tight end option routes. I'm cool with that. I don't mind option routes with your primary receiver as long as he know how to read the defense like you. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with Noah Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup all running the option route at the same time with Dalton Schultz. That's what I hated. So I don't think it's option route-ish. I think this is just another dimension to your offense that also makes it more than likely for a defense to make a mistake. And this is why. If you prepare to play Dallas, guess what you got to do now as a defense? You got to prepare for a traditional pocket quarterback who also dangerous with his legs if you break him out. And then you have to prepare your defense for RPO style quarterback in 1 week. So the study of your opponent doubles just because you got two threats. And see, this idea would sound crazy as hell if we didn't see it before. But we saw this before though with Taysom Hill. And nobody in their right mind would ever call Sean Payton a gadget, dumb offensive coordinator. See, y'all doing too much. See, he said, let's just bring back the wing T offense. See, I knew one of y'all was going to get fly. Day Walker. I knew it. See, this is the thing. If my thing is this, if the Dallas Cowboys is going to draft a quarterback, in my opinion, this is the way to do it. Because, again, I'm going to say this one more time. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I know none of y'all think Sean Payton crazy. You crazy, Day Walker. But none of y'all think he crazy. All of y'all would call Sean Payton up there with Andy Reid. You would. And guess who was running this Wildcat offense with Drew Brees? Sean Payton. I know it's different. I know it's outside the box. But if you go get a quarterback, don't draft one of these quarterbacks that you know you go sit their ass on the bench. That don't even make sense to me. If you go get a quarterback with all this athleticism like Max and like Hendon Hooker, use it. Use it. Put them balls on the ground. Put them in situations. And then, this is the thing. If you like my boy Amp, that's like, I don't want to showcase what we likely doing based on the packaging quarterback. I don't want to showcase that. That's fine. I can meet Amp in the middle. I think there's a way to meet you in the middle, right? So forget, if you just said, you know what, forget that. I don't want to rotate these quarterbacks in for situational football. I don't want to do that. But guess what you could do? You could use these quarterbacks in all the ways you don't want to use Dak. Like the ugly stuff, the QB sneaks, the RPOs, all of that stuff. Where you don't want to risk Dak legs. You can use these guys for that. Because they good enough to throw, but the real threat is their legs. Yeah. So it don't have to be to where you have this major game plan with them installed. Nah. It can be situational too. But I'm just kind of low. I'm trying to showcase a vision of how you can potentially use these guys. Hold on real quick. Let me take this real quick. He said, opto great when you have CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, Wilson, and Schultz. They was loaded and was getting wide open. Kellen couldn't with lesser talent. I agree. So, I'm going to talk about two things and I'm going to take a call. I'm going to start taking calls. Okay? Hold on. So there's two sides to this. There's the football side, and then there's the business side. So on the football side, I like this plan because I think it adds another dimension to your offense, similar to what Sean Payton used to do. Okay, it makes your defense have to over prepare for your offense. They wouldn't be just preparing now to learn the tendencies of Dak. They would also have to spend scouting time, film time, and research on how to go against athletic quarterbacks. So that's the football side. The business side is, instead of you trying to use leverage like leaving Dak off of promotional videos or throwing him under the bus after the loss to San Fran, because it was two people they named after the loss to San Fran. Dallas.com, they named Dak Prescott and Diggs, both of these guys up for an extension. So instead of using that fake leverage, why don't you develop some real leverage? Some real leverage. See, because you can develop some real leverage against Dak with this plan, especially with a Hendon Hooker. Because if Hendon Hooker plays for the Dallas Cowboys and you working him in and you seeing him grow and grow and grow and grow as you continue to develop him in your Wildcat offense, you could develop real pressure on Dak and contract pressure. That's the business side. So it's a football side and it's a business side. Yeah. And then Common Sense said, we got to understand that this is only while the young QBs develops. Peyton used Hill that way early to help him develop with speed of game. He didn't get a start at QB until like year 3, year 4. Perfect common sense. Perfect common sense on that super chat. Yeah, and then this is the other thing. See, this is the other thing that I like from Cowboy Gumbo. I like that name, by the way. Cowboy Gumbo. I like that. That's a cool last name. He said, I like it because we can upgrade from Cooper Rush. That's also why I like it from a football reason. I'm not asking now Cooper Rush to try to have the arm talent of Dak, which we all know is not going to happen. Because whenever you have that big of a talent gap, we might need to find another way to get talent at the QB position. And we might have to find another way to win other than let's go get a guy that's not even close to the arm talent of our first guy, but hey, that's what we got. That's what we got to work with. Well, instead of overly depending on arm talent, maybe we need to add some legs to this equation. Let's add some legs to this equation, because then that closes the gap a little bit. Now, none of these guys close the gap enough on arm talent, but all of these guys that I'm mentioning close the gap in terms of being able to build around them an offense that can potentially win. Maybe not a championship, but when times get hard, I want to have a layer built into my offense that we can mimic what's already working with a competitive team. And I'm just keeping it real. This is where the NFL is going. If we smart, we should be on the front end. Don't wait until Chicago also do it. Don't wait till other teams figure this out. I want us also on the front end of this trend. Wildcat quarterbacks. Wildcat quarterbacks. It's not pretty. It's not flashy, but it's potentially a winning formula. So I'm gonna take some calls. All right, here we go. So we got the call line open. Obviously, we want to hear. We want to hear y'all thoughts. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm just hooking up my phone. All right. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Big homie, what's good, man?
What's up, Amp?
Man, look. So I appreciate the pushback and the argument.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely see it both ways. But like finesse 2 times, boy, you're gonna have to catch me on the back end, dog.
What you mean, bro?
Finesse, 2 on.
You scared?
I don't know.
You scared? You scared?
I don't. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why I'm a little hesitant on that also.
Okay.
This is your first year under Mike McCarthy, and we're already going to have enough that's going to change. I think that might just be a little too much maybe this year to implement. Maybe if you get them in the system and you just kind of get them acclimated to, what we do in Dallas, etc., and you just take this year to digest what Mike is trying to change. I'm thinking maybe if we do it, not till next year. Don't come out the gate with it. Just off of the strength of adding so much at one time. Because that's a lot of change. Because that's a whole what? That's a whole nother package. And do you really think by the time we bring this man on, get him acclimated to the NFL between minicamp and training camp, we will have sufficient time to install it and be comfortable with it for the season?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you why. Can you listen? Can you hear me and the TV at the same time?
Almost there.
All right, so I'm gonna play something real quick, and I think it's gonna help your confidence. And this is good pushback too. This is great pushback. Great pushback. Hold on real quick. Let me go play this clip.
Bad.
Give me 1 second. Hold on real quick. And then just listen to it. Don't hang up either. We go talk this through. Cause if I'm wrong and you talk me out, I have no problem with that. It ain't no egos in this. We both trying to reason this out. Hold on real quick.
You know how I do. I just want to, tap and make
No, this is good. I love pushback because it makes us think this through. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, and you not kissing no ass. You not over here like, I love it, boss, because you came up with it. No, you like, All right, hold on real quick. All right, listen to this, and then we go talk about it. All right. Okay, so make sure, mute me, but listen to it. You ready? All right.
When you first came here, you didn't change the offensive language.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a wise move. Do you make some changes in that regard now? And how is the install going?
Well, the only language change that we'll make is to the new things, and we've been very sensitive to, how things were called before. Because you got 2 guys that've been in the West Coast offense, Brian Schottenheimer and I. And the beauty of Brian, he's also coaching a digital system, and Brian is.
So the main thing I want to first start with, because Amp really raised a good point. He said, "This is ambitious. What you talking about?" With Mike McCarthy officially taking over, that might be too much, boss. Maybe we want to wait till next year because that install might be too much. Well, when you listen to Mike McCarthy, what is he saying? He's saying for the most part, we keeping his language the same. And we was very sensitive to do that. So basically they going into this new philosophy with the same terms. So this is not a total new offense for Dak, for Cooper Rush, for any of those guys. You know what I mean? and the West Coast principles that they go build into it. He getting ready to talk about it. Listen.
It has his own, playbook to say, which is a combination of both. So this has been a very good fit. I think the new wrinkles that we have will probably be terms that we feel fit the current terminology.
So he talking about, so even when they install, they're going to install it in a way that fit the terminology and the thinking of what they already doing. Let me keep going.
If it's brand new, we may use some of the West Coast terminology just because there's history. See, I'm huge into the history of concepts. Just fortunately, being in the same offense for 30 years, when you say flanker drive, you say double, pinch. I mean, those concepts are more than just routes and a read for the quarterback. So, there's every play has history. When it came into the league, what it was primarily used. We have a thing we call PCP. It's the player play expectation and what we want out of each play. So and I think just locking that down a little tighter, I think it'll be helpful for us.
So hopefully, that answers your question. You know what I mean? Because that's a legit what you said. That's legit. So if it was a situation where we was getting a whole new head coach, a whole new offensive coordinator, see, the benefit of Broughton Schottenheimer is Broughton Schottenheimer. He was already here. That's the point. He was already here. So him blending his offensive philosophy with what's already here has already been in the process, according to Mike McCarthy. See what I'm saying? So this is actually the perfect time to get aggressive with new concepts. He also talked about that pretty much every year you got to add new wrinkles to your offense anyway. Hold on, you got a second for me to play that?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me play it real quick. Turn it up on your TV and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
People look at your background, they think about, West Coast offense, how different is this going to look? But is it really, it's kind of a fusion of the two, and is it really more maybe protections and things like that versus
I don't see a huge change in the run component of it, schematically, and I think it's just like anything. If you put 3 play callers in one room and you gave them the same playbook, they're all going to call it a little differently. So I think that's to be expected. I think you definitely, second point is you have to evolve it every year anyways. If we didn't make the change of play caller, we'd be evolving anyways. We look the way we evolved from 2020 when I recommend.
So in this clip, he's talking about having to evolve anyway. So basically, every offseason, according to Mike McCarthy, we go change it because we don't want to get figured out. So this is a good time to add wrinkles.
I smell an indictment.
What?
I smell an indictment on previous coaches.
Oh yeah, that definitely was an indictment.
And you look at the way we lined up, and depending on the person and who's on the field, we already know what the play is. We should have not been able to recognize that for that long.
Yeah.
Which means that the rest of the NFL was hip to what we were doing too, because we went so long without really switching things up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but hopefully, big dog, I answered your question. You know what I mean?
Man, you did, dog.
Okay.
You did your homework and you had the research to back it up. So, hey, no more smoke this way.
And I appreciate the smoke though. See, smoke make us all good. And this is the thing I like about Amp. Amp don't kiss up. You know what I mean? If Amp disagree, he keep the Cowboys first. And he'll come right over here like, boss, I don't know about that, which makes me have to prove my case. You know what I mean? Which is what we all should be doing. You got anything else, big dog?
Man, that's it, bro. I'm gonna just keep tuning in, man.
All right. And we can't wait till you crank up that channel, big dog. I know you got a lot with your newborn, but we waiting on you, bro. We cannot wait. The world is waiting.
Look. It's around
no
the
pressure.
Futures, right?
No pressure.
Man, look, baby boy slept through the night for the first time last night, so we real close, dog.
Yeah, no, man. We excited about it, man. So y'all stay on the lookout for Amp. He gonna be coming out like Stargazer. So I'm always excited when I see people lunching out. So Star, I got the number
Appreciate
here.
the support
Star,
and the push, man.
Star, put in. What'd you say, Big Dog?
I said I appreciate the support and the push, man.
All right.
Cowboy Nation, y'all hold it down.
All right, Big Dog. Let me take this other call. All right, that was Amp. Now, I think I got 2 coaches calling me. Coach Q.
What's up, boss? How you doing, sir?
What's up, man? What you got?
Man, dude, love your show. I saw some people in the chat that was talking about, if you had another quarterback come on to the field that, they would know what you're running. But what people got to realize is that we would run them like Taysom Hill. When Sean Payton was in New Orleans, they had one of the best red zone offenses in the league. And this is facts. So one thing that made Dak so good when he was younger, and why YouTube guys like yourself were screaming about Dak need to run the ball, was when he was younger, we had a great red zone because you didn't know if Dak was going to run it or if he was going to pass it. So if you had a Duggan, you want the defense to decide, am I going to go big personnel or am I going to go small personnel? If you go big personnel, guess what? I have a tight end on a linebacker. That's a win for the offense. If I go motion, my wide receiver, I hope the linebacker follows. I'm winning again. And so that's why having a guy like Taysom or like Hooker is a benefit to the offense because you want the defense to guess. Because whatever package you put down, it's a win for the offense.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's how it's a benefit. So I know a lot of Cowboys fans were talking about how we were so vanilla in the red zone, getting one of these quarterbacks that can do this type of style. And by the way, Max can throw. And there's no question about how strong your arm is when you think 10 yards.
Right.
Every quarterback can throw that. So don't give me that his arm is not strong enough. Everybody's arm is strong enough in the red zone to throw. He can throw all those balls, the back shoulder, the in route, the corner post, all that. So having one of those guys is a benefit. Now, what you was kind of talking about through the chat, hey, if the Dallas Cowboys get Hayden Hooker, that's great pressure. That's a win-win for Cowboys fans.
It is. It is. It's a win-win.
Because two things. Just say we signed that and Hayden Hooker develops. Guess what? You know what a good backup equals? First round pick, second round pick.
Ooh.
This is fact. I mean, dude, New England, they can't find a quarterback, but they can develop a quarterback. They've gotten so many first and second round picks. Oh, before them, it was McCarthy. McCarthy did it. With Green Bay, they got so many picks. If you develop a really, really good quarterback, backup quarterback, you get capital. You get draft capital. And number two, if you really, really want to restart the clock, Hayden Hooker is good enough to do so.
He is. I do too.
So guess what? They allow Cowboy Jones to look at Steve Francis and say, hey, do you really want to do this, sir?
Right.
Do you really want to see if someone's going to pay Dak $50 million besides us?
Right.
Because they can do so. Because if y'all want to, guys, y'all go to over the cap. And the Cowboys actually can get out of that deal next year. Yeah, it said $59 million.
Right.
But if the Cowboys make him a post-June 5th cap, the Cowboys only have to pay $29 million. That's doable.
Well.
And they say $35 million. So I'm just saying, so if they bring in the right quarterback this year, it really does put the Cowboys in the catbird seat when it comes to negotiation with Dak.
It does.
It's a win-win, because I want that.
Me
so
too.
We keep him cool. We upgraded on our backup. Let's get him developed. Let's make him into a trade piece and keep it moving.
Right. Man, I love it.
To me, I'm gonna be really looking at the draft to see what quarterback they bring in. If they bring in Duggan, cool. That tells me straight up that negotiations are going well. If they bring up Hooker, because I don't think you've talked about this, but Hooker is probably a second-round pick. If he wasn't hurt, he might have been a first-round pick.
I say first round.
Cowboys gonna have to use early.
Second round at work.
Capital.
He just like Hertz.
Right.
Star, I'm gonna call you next, and then I'm gonna call Coach Moore. But yeah, I totally agree. Everything you said. It would be new for the Dallas Cowboys to do this. It's to your point, it's not new for New England to do this.
No.
Right?
Now, that's right. I'm telling you like this. Now, if that boy Richardson is at 20, he ain't gonna be there. But if he's at 26, boss, I don't know.
I know.
What the Cowboys might. Because to me, like, he might be the second coming of the boy from Baltimore. I don't know. I mean, I don't think his accuracy is the same. But like, dude, like if he's sitting at 26, now I don't like Will Levis as high.
Yeah.
But one of them guys is sitting at 26, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I think Cowboys fans should be a little worried if one of them guys, because I think as fans we are win now team.
Yeah.
So we want a position player.
Yep, I agree.
But as a owner, and if Jerry Jones really loves the Cowboys fans, can you pass up a Richardson at 26? Because you might never get a chance like that again.
I think you will get a chance like that again, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
That'd be interesting.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm being all the way honest too. Okay, I'm gonna say something that's gonna probably piss off some people, but I'm just keeping it real. If I was a GM, I would always every 3 years target black quarterbacks. You know why? Nobody slips in the draft unjustifiably like black quarterbacks.
That's so true.
Right? Am I lying? Am I lying?
Dak should never have been a 4th-round pick.
Dak should never have been a 4th-round pick. Never. Russell Wilson never should have been a 3rd-round pick. Never. Lamar should have never been a bottom of the first. Never. Never. It never made sense for them to slip. Hertz shouldn't have been a 2nd-round pick. Never.
It's funny when Dak was coming out, he was projected to be a 1st and 2nd-round pick. He had that 90-mile-per-hour speeding ticket. He wasn't drinking. And that dropped him all the way down to the 4th. Really?
Yeah.
Because he was driving fast, not drunken.
Yeah.
He didn't kill nobody. He was just driving fast.
Yep.
They said, "Oh, his judgment." What judgment, dog?
Yep.
This is the same guy that was beating Alabama all mother boys.
Yep. Judgment. Yeah, judgment. Yeah, get out of here, bro. Black quarterbacks slip in the draft unjustified like no other position. It's what it is. People don't want to hear that, but that's true. Because under normal sound judgment, Dak was always a better candidate than Goff and Wentz. Played in bigger schools, was the Heisman candidate, was the Senior Bowl MVP, led his team to #1, was an academic All-American, had a master's degree. Check, 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 and check. And they put that boy in the 4th round. Man, get out of here. Wentz was literally injury history prone and broke his wrist his senior year, and they still made him a top 2 on projection.
No offense, but from FCS, he wasn't playing even in the FCS. He was
Right.
in the FCS.
Yeah. You in an inferior conference.
Over Dak in the SEC.
Right.
The best conference in the world.
Man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would sit with confidence knowing we go see another great athlete fall. They go just be black.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm gonna tell you, you know who implemented the strategy I'm talking about of targeting black quarterbacks? You know who did this successfully? Bud Adams for the Oilers.
Yeah, that's true.
Bud Adams. When Bud out, his first quarterback was Warren Moon. His second quarterback.
The current coaching staff right now is Seattle, because they only got a second black quarterback to start for them.
Yep.
And Geno Smith.
That's all I would do. And it's not that you putting blacks above whites. I'm just playing the odds. The odds say you can build a team if you target black quarterbacks, because likely you're going to get way more value because they always slip in the draft.
That's right.
That's just what it is. They always slip. So I guarantee I could get a quarterback every 3 years. I guarantee. Because about every 3 years, there's a crazy, unjustified slip.
And if you think that I'm lying about the draft capital, Huntley from Baltimore, teams was offering a first-round pick for him, and Baltimore said no.
Exactly.
And Huntley is not as good as some of the starting quarterbacks now.
Right.
So think about that. So
right.
if we can just get a Huntley, we can get a first-round pick.
Exactly.
So it's a benefit to getting a good a good backup quarterback.
It is. Yeah. Good call, man. I appreciate the call, bro. Fantastic call. So I want to give a little bit of history of what I was saying too. See, Bud Adams literally implemented the strategy that I'm talking about. His first quarterback was Moon. His second quarterback was McNair. His third quarterback was Vince Young. In a row, he intentionally targeted black quarterbacks. Moon, most people didn't know this bit, but a whole lot of NFL owners didn't want Moon. They wanted him to play receiver. Do you remember how they did Lamar? Yeah. You remember how they did Lamar? Yeah. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, we want to see you run. We want to see if you can play receiver. Montana say chill, boss, before they cancel you. Bro, I'm just telling the truth. Black quarterbacks slip in the draft unjustifiable. It is. It's true. Like, let me say it. Let me give you one of the best examples. Lamar Jackson should have never slipped the way that he slipped. It made 0 sense. So he was drafted with what's old boy for USC? I forgot his name. Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Rosen was in his draft class, right? All of them was drafted before Lamar. Lamar was the only one out of all of them that won the Heisman. The only one. He was the only one. He was the only one that played in a pro-style offense. The only one. And then they dropped him in the draft when his production his senior year was better than his production when he won the Heisman. So why in the hell did he drop? See, a lot of people like to say, oh, we always knew Mahomes was going to be. No, you didn't. Because I remember what happened with Mahomes. Mahomes dropped. Watson dropped in the draft. It's a fact. They was nitpicking the hell out of Mahomes. See, I remember. They was calling Mahomes and Watson a project. Mahomes put up 700 freaking yards in one game versus Oklahoma. 700. He was a project, though. It was his offense. I remember this stuff. See, some of y'all be scared to talk straight up about race and bias. I am not. But see, this is what I would do. I would use that bias to my benefit, just like Bud Adams did for the Oilers. The Oilers use bias and racial bias to his benefit. So I would let all you bias owners continue to bet on projection because they white versus obviously production with blacks. And that's what happens. Sam Darnold was all projection. He had one great game in the Rose Bowl as a junior, and they ignored all the interceptions as a senior. They were saying stuff like, he trusts his arm. Yeah. Another example. How in the world was Mitch Trubisky ever put on the level of Mahomes and Watson? No. I guarantee if I was a GM, I would have a cold quarterback room. Because all of them would be black. It's not that I would be skipping over whites. I'd be like, just every 3 years, one go fall. It happens. It happens every 3 years. It's just what it is. So like when he say, man, you might not see a Hendon Hooker. Now it's a Hendon Hooker every 2 years. And this is the worst part about the Hendon Hooker types. They gotta have instant impact. Because see, black quarterbacks, they don't usually have a whole lot of time to develop. They either thrown out there and work. They don't have time to develop like Allen. See, they let Allen stink for 2 years. Oh no, you not gonna get that privilege if you black. Generally. Now some teams ain't like this. But it's a lot of teams. You gotta look how Dak had to rise. Dak had to be an instant success. Look, y'all, some of y'all think Watson had it easy. No, you didn't really watch that close. I watched that close. See, they had a quarterback named Savage for the Houston Texans who had 6 career starts for the Texans. And when they drafted Watson, they treated Savage like he was a franchise quarterback. And they made Watson seem as if he had to take it. What? If you don't get out of here with that old stupid... So anyway, y'all don't want to hear the truth, but I'm going to tell it to you. And see, that's the problem me being independent. I can speak my mind. I ain't got to cater to nobody.
Bringing real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
Sometimes you just got to speak your mind. I'm calling you now, Star. Then I'm calling you, Coach. So yeah, man, sometimes you just gotta speak your mind, man. I ain't scared. These boys really want you to be scared to talk about obvious bias. What the fuck? Man, what I look like being scared to talk about you cheating me? What's up, Star?
What's up, boss? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling on it.
Yeah, so I wanted to call in and comment on this whole quarterback situation.
Okay.
I appreciate the video and the content. And also, out there about, maybe we should get ahead of this Wildcat quarterback model that seems like it's getting more buzz now because you see guys like Jalen Hertz, who was obviously able to be a Wildcat quarterback and make it all the way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
What I say, my sentiment is a little bit different than Amp.
Okay.
In the sense of, I do think that it is a good idea because it does add a layer to your offense, and it also protects your franchise quarterback from having to scramble so much.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
I do think mentally I am a bit concerned because I'm concerned about Dak mentally because the only franchise that we've seen do this, where they ran this 2 QB system, is, of course, the Saints with Sean Payton.
Right.
But if we look at a quarterback like Drew Brees, unless I'm mistaken, Drew Brees was never a mobile quarterback, was he?
No.
I don't think he was.
No.
So he was never a mobile quarterback. So it's almost like you had, Sean Payton getting Taysom Hill was just to basically just like you're saying, add another wrinkle.
Yeah.
But it wasn't ever a competition thing where Peyton ever, where Breeze ever thought like, Taysom Hill is here to overtake me, because it was never that. It was just like, hey, we're doing this for the offense. We know Breeze is immobile. Let's get a mobile quarterback to make it better. I think when you do it to somebody like Dak, who is a mobile quarterback, now granted he's not as fast as he was his rookie year, but Dak is still pretty mobile. He's going into his prime. He's just turning 30 years old. So I think if Dak is the only quarterback, franchise quarterback that you do that to, I do think you have to think about how that's going to affect him mentally, because basically you are adding in, say you add a Hendon Hooker or a Max Duggan. We already know the narrative that's swirl around Dak now, from the 3 and 4 Led Network, from the fans,
it's true,
from the regular fans. So it does kind of concern me, and I do agree, like you said, Dak performs better under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true to a certain extent, because when you're a competitor, obviously you want competition because you want to be able to show I'm the best no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to consider the organization that we're under as well.
Yep.
So if you bring in a guy like a Max Duggan or a Hendon Hooker, which these guys are going to basically be almost splitting snaps, or they're going to be on the field basically, like starting their rookie year.
That's the vision. Yep, to work them in.
Right. I think it could. I'm not saying it will because I don't know. But I think it could potentially affect Dak because, I mean, you can just imagine the narrative, the more narrative that would be swirling, because then he would be the only franchise young prime quarterback that he's splitting snaps with Hendon Hooker. He's splitting snaps. To me, it's like more so of an optics thing. Like, would that be good for your organization? Would that be good for your quarterback? I'm not too sure.
That's a good pushback. Very good pushback. That's a great pushback. Let's just kind of talk about it. Let's kind of talk about it, because if I'm hearing you out right, you saying, boss, I hear you that he performs best under pressure, but damn, this Dallas pressure would be epic even more. And how much pressure are you going to continue to put on your quarterback? Basically, you saying, when are you going to let him basically rest and know that he's trusted to be our guy? Right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I started my narrative with generally, and this is generally, quarterback controversies are bad. You know what I mean? Generally, most, like for instance, when Steve Young was in a quarterback controversy with Joe Montana, both of them boys played bad. Yeah. That's a true story. Until they decided to go with Montana and say, okay, we go finish the season with you. Then he played better. Finally, he went on to Kansas City. Then when Steve Young came and became the quarterback, he had no controversy, so he was able to play relaxed and loose, and he played better. Right. I think Dak is just the opposite. That's why I started my narrative with, if I know that you play better with pressure, I'm going to put pressure on you. And that's why I started. Now, it can come across evil because that's managing and that's management. But that's where I really would have to know the psyche of my quarterback. I would have to really psychoanalyze him. And from me looking at Dak, I think it will piss him off. Keeping it real. I think it would piss him off. But I think the kind of man he is, it will make him lock in even more. That's just me, though. I definitely hear your concern, and it's a real concern. That's not a little thing you saying, and I actually agree with it. I'm just saying I would take the risk because of what I've seen in Dak in the past when he had real pressure on his back, which was Romo. Yeah. It made him almost play perfect. So
that's true. That's 100% true, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it'll affect Dak because we have seen him go from the fourth-string quarterback to the starter. That was tremendous pressure, and he just like you said, he almost had a perfect. I mean, he had a rookie season. I don't think we've seen a rookie quarterback have the season that Dak Prescott had.
It was all time. He broke over 20 all-time records.
And I want to point that out. And I hate to, I don't want to be seeming like a Dak homer or Dak apologist. Yeah. But I had tweeted the other day, I think yesterday, I had tweeted, I said, you know what, if you can't win a Super Bowl with Dak,
I saw that.
Then I just don't consider you a good coach, because this is a guy, just like you said, this is a guy that literally in the SEC led his team to
number one
championship game. Number one in the nation, led his team to the championship. And what was I gonna say? Basically, what I'm saying is Dak has been that guy. There was no reason at all, just like y'all said, for Dak to be a fourth-round pick at all. When you compare him to Jared Goff, there was zero reason.
Zero.
Dak was one of the only quarterbacks at that time that none of his wide receivers even made it into the league.
Yeah, none.
So,
none of his weapons.
No.
Running backs too. Offensive linemen too. Nobody he played with was drafted.
Like Dak was that team.
He was the team. Right.
This team, and as much as we sully and denigrated our weapons, Dak Prescott was about to go to the NFC Championship with Noah Brown, a hobbled Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb, and a struggling, and we don't know if we were actually 32nd, because I did watch your show yesterday, and it's like, maybe we weren't 32nd in pass block win rate, but I think we weren't top 10 or top 15 or anything. We probably were the bottom of the league, but I don't know if we were dead last. Like,
right.
That's a real thing. But
hey, listen, stop. We'll go with it to make your case, okay?
Yeah, we'll go with it. Right. So say we had 32nd pass block win rate, and this guy was about to make the NFC Championship with that if he had a competent offensive coordinator.
Right.
So
I agree.
Y'all have to think that Dak Prescott, he is a great quarterback. The only thing that people knock Dak Prescott is for his inconsistency. But I'm like, well, when you look at his coaching, when you look at how he had to come to the league, he didn't get to marinate like Mahomes. He was thrown out into the fire.
Thrown.
Immediately. So when you look at those type of things, he's been in an offense, right, where we said this wasn't predicated to his strengths, but it's hard to say that when he had the number one offense twice.
Right.
So I'm not trying to pump. I know everybody's gonna say, but I'm not saying Dak Prescott is Patrick Mahomes, or I'm not saying that. The only person that I'm saying clearly is just unquestionable is Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not saying Dak is Patrick Mahomes, but what I'm saying is you have a top tier quarterback. Because you can't even compare. I feel you want to compare him to Joe Burrow, but not really, because Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Joe Burrow hasn't been asked to perform with less.
Nope.
And you may say, well, he has the offensive line problems, but again, he has the weapons that win.
Right.
So, like, has not been any. And Joe Burrow has a real coach. Patrick Mahomes has a real coach.
Yep.
Dak Prescott had Jason Garrett.
Yep.
And then he had Kellen Moore.
Yep.
Like, y'all have, that's what I'm saying, consider all things. I'm just thinking, I think personally that Dak Prescott is a lot better. I don't think that he's just a quarterback that you can win with. I don't think it's just, you can win with him. He's good enough. You put him on a loaded team, he's good enough. I don't think he's just good enough. I think he's more than good enough. But I do want to talk a little bit. I don't know how much time I got, but I do want to talk a little bit about this Wildcat quarterback. Do you think, because I get it, because you have a guy like Hertz where it's like Wildcat quarterbacks work as long as they're athletic, they can move their legs, and you have pretty good, a pretty solid team. But do you think these Wildcat quarterbacks should be getting paid the same as pocket passers? Because it seems weird to me that Jalen Hertz, which we know he was in a college offense, would then now he's resetting the market to $55 million. So, how is saying they're going to pay him $50 to $55 million APY. Mm-hmm. I think that's a little bit weird. And then I want to say one more thing about.
Hold on, before hold on. Okay, let's talk about that, because I ain't rushing you too. I don't want you to feel like you rushed. All right.
Okay.
You are not rushed, so let's take that point. Then we'll take your third thought. So you ask, do Wildcat quarterbacks deserve market-setting contracts? Basically, that's what you're asking, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I come from sales, right? And this is the answer from sales. Whatever a customer's willing to buy, you worth it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And sometimes it makes sense. Like, from a football standpoint, it don't make sense, because it's going to cause a lot of problems when you pay him that much money, but you ask him to have rushing attempts right next to Pollard. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Like, I just don't see an owner just sitting up like, okay, yeah, go ahead and run him into the ground. That's fine. We don't care that you're risking his long-term health. Oh, we cool with, I don't know billionaires that think like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's going to be some conflict as soon as he's paid. The moment he's paid, Every cheap ass billionaire is gonna say, how am I gonna maximize this check that I'm writing this quarterback? And the first thing any billionaire is gonna do is look on return on investment and risk of my investment. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking at risk of investment, you ain't gonna want to use him the way that he's being used as a Wildcat quarterback. You gonna start trying to push your coach, your head coach, to transition him to a more pocket passer. And we did that with Dak. Remember? We did. Dak early years, he was diving. Remember? He running over people. He flexing. Yeah, he trucking people. Shit. As soon as he got paid, all that stopped.
Yeah, we said stay right there in the pocket.
Stay in that pocket.
Don't even scramble for 2 yards.
We just lucky that Dak couldn't make the transition. That's what it is. Dak was. We just lucky that we got us an athletic quarterback that's also an accurate thrower.
Boy, you good. You so 100% right on that, boss. Because it's like we are lucky because
we lucky.
Imagine you write, in Eagles land they write Jalen Hurts that check, and then they try to make him do something that he may not be capable of doing.
Right. And he may not be able to do it like that. That's just straight up.
Exactly, and exactly, like that's just being real. And it's like if he's not capable of that, like that's gonna F up Jalen Hurts. That's gonna F up y'all's cap situation. Like, it's gonna F up so much stuff. So, that's why I say, well, maybe I don't know about that. Like I don't know maybe there should be a different market so there's less pressure on those Wildcat quarterbacks. They can still have careers because Jalen Hurts, he can roll out with that same offense. But if you're right, if they give him that $55 million APY, and then you force Hurts to do something that he's not ready to do, like it's gonna mess up your franchise pretty much.
SC Star.
You're like, well, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you something. You ready? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
The hotels ain't gonna like what I'm getting ready to say. You know what I mean by hotels?
Yeah.
The Black Panthers.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna like what I'm getting ready to say, but I'm gonna keep it real.
Okay.
I can kind of understand why the Ravens don't want to pay Lamar.
Yep.
I'm just keeping it real. I can see because I'm looking at it from his style of play. If I'm writing a multi-million-dollar check for a high-risk player style,
and he's already getting hurt.
Yeah, and getting older, I can kind of understand the reluctance to pay him.
Yeah.
Now I know the Black Panthers mad at me right now.
I know they took because it's like, and he's just Lamar Jackson, and I'm not taking nothing away from him. I think Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback.
Me too.
I mean, this is a former MVP, but when you look at his style of play,
it's the style. Yeah.
It makes it hard to say because you don't want to make Lamar Jackson just be a pocket passer when his strength is in his legs.
Right.
Because like you said, Dak, everybody not Dak. Everybody can't transition from
Nope.
I was a running quarterback and now I'm passing 30 to 40, 50 times a game. You can't. That's not an easy transition.
Nah.
And
most cannot make that transition.
Most cannot make that transition. So when you add somebody like a Hertz or a Lamar Jackson to be different, because I was talking to my brother about this the other day. I was like, they're going to have to make Hertz do more. And he was like, why? Because he was like, it's working. Like, why would you make, basically, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Like, keep running Hurts. If it's working and y'all keep winning games and y'all keep about to win the Super Bowl, keep running him. But I'm like, well, you say that, but when you think about the potential of getting hurt, because Hurts got hurt last year. Because when he was running and they had teams that could stop him in the Chicago Bears who was knocking him on his butt, that's how his shoulder got messed up.
Right.
So it's just like it's just a basically a rock and a hard place. But,
super.
Go ahead. What you say?
No, I said super rock and a hard place. I agree.
You're just in a weird place. And lastly, I would say I'm 100% on board with drafting a quarterback every 3 years.
Yep.
Or every couple of years, because it's just like over there in Patriots land, where you have your franchise, but you draft quarterbacks that you can develop. And I think it's smarter for your organization, because here's why. If you constantly have guys in the room that are good enough and developed enough to where, say, contract negotiations do fall out with your franchise, or say your franchise gets hurt, or your franchise quarterback just significantly regresses, you don't have to have a drop-off, right? You don't have to have that rookie drop-off. Because here's the thing about, let's just draft a rookie and throw him out there. There's usually a learning curve. I know people see Dak Prescott. Dak did it, and you see, what's his name?
Herbert.
Purdy did it, Purdy and Herbert. But you see these guys who had tremendous success just thrown out there. But that is not usual.
No.
So that's why when you have quarterbacks like that, it's like almost like a diamond in the rough.
Yep.
Because it's not really usual that you can just throw a rookie quarterback out there and he's going to be great. Even though he may have a great talent or great traits, there's a learning curve. They don't even know how to read deep. They don't know how to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So It's going to be a learning curve for them for a couple of years. So if you're constantly having quarterbacks in the room that you're developing, it does set your franchise up to where, hey, if negotiations go left, or if my quarterback regresses, then I have a guy already in the room. I don't have to go and reach for a quarterback now in the draft, and then my seasons are now we're going 4, and we're only winning 4 to 5 games a year.
Right.
It's basically how to keep your franchise afloat.
Right.
Just constantly have a flow. And then if you're a franchise like Brady, which Brady never regrets. It's just a point that, they've eventually moved off of him and sent him to Bucs land, and he won a Super Bowl. But Brady never regrets. So if you're fortunate to have that, to where I have my franchise who doesn't regress, doesn't get hurt enough, then when you have those quarterbacks, you can just sell them off like they did Jimmy G. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have these quarterbacks that you can now sell off, get picked, and continue to build around your franchise. And that's how you can continue to have, if you want to do a Super Bowl, a dynasty, that's how you can continue to build it. So I'm 100% for drafting. And when Jerry said that, I think fans tried to make it some Jerry against Dak comment, but I'm like, I don't think it is. It's just smart to draft and to develop quarterbacks consistently. And now you have a quarterback developer in Mike McCarthy, so it's really smart. Because as I said, if Dak don't regress, and say Dak does be our quarterback and he's 38, 39, then you know how many quarterbacks you can develop and sell off the teams that are quarterback needy and keep getting first and second and third round picks.
I love it. Hey, real quick, Star.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Do you have me on Bluetooth?
No, I don't have you on Bluetooth. I have you on speaker.
That's what it is, because our sound is way off. Let's do a sound check real quick. Take me off speaker. Let me see if it make your volume come up.
Okay, hold on.
I just want to test it. So the next time you call, we'll have better sound. Just give me 1 second, y'all.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Say something.
Hello?
Okay. How's your day?
Good. Is it still delayed?
No, it's not a delay. It's just that our levels are different. I was just trying to...
Or levels are different. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, the levels. Okay. Well, if y'all can hear me better this way, then I'll just have it to where I can talk like with the phone on my ear. We don't have to put it on speaker.
Yeah, that might be what it is. But it's cool. I was just trying to get our sound just a little bit better. But it's cool. I sure appreciate the call, Star. Fantastic. And Star, you better call more often. I'm getting tired of begging you to call. Damn it.
I know. I'm like, now I have your number saved, so now I can just call in whenever you say. As soon as the phone line's open, I can call in immediately.
There it is. Congratulations on your channel, too. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Thank you, boss. You guys can find me on YouTube. I finally have gone live, guys. So y'all can find my videos on YouTube at Stargazer Sports. You can also find me on Facebook at Stargazer Sports Media. You can find me on Instagram at Stargazer_sports. And then you can find me on Twitter at The Stargazer. But instead of a E in Gazer, it's a 3, and then it's 2 R's at the end.
There it is. Man, appreciate the call, Star.
Thank you, boss. Thank you. Bye.
All right. That was Stargazer Sports. Let me call Coach. Y'all be patient with your boy. Hey, listen, this technical stuff, hey, sometimes it's out of my hands. It's what it is.
What's going on, boss?
What's up, Coach?
Hey, man, I'm on board with you, man, and your two callers before, Coach Q and Stargazer, man, they brought up some very interesting points, but I got 3 points, man, that I want to, see if I can talk to you about.
All right, let's go.
I'm gonna start off with what y'all just talked about the running quarterback and about the pay and their ability to last in this league. I believe Baltimore has set a blueprint of how the running quarterback is going to be handled, and I think that blueprint came with the last contract offer that they gave. They gave a contract offer of 3 years guaranteed, but their price was too low at $42 million. But if they would have came with an offer of 3 years guaranteed at $50 million, he might have would have bid. And where I think they're going with that is they're saying, okay, just like you said about their longevity, they're going to go smaller, shorter years with these guys, but big money. So they don't get caught out there in a 6-7 year contract, and then the wheels start to get a little worn.
Yeah.
So that's where you
that's
do
real.
when you feel about long. Yeah, you push it. You give shorter deals, guaranteed money, but you got. I think their thing is, and I think with Lamar is that y'all didn't come high enough on the per year type thing. Y'all still trying to lowball me at 42. But if they would have said 150. 3 years guaranteed, $50 million per year, he might have bid on that because he could say, well, hey, I'm gonna make this 150, and I'll probably make another some more money because he'll be betting on himself that he's gonna last after 3 years, and he's gonna be getting paid top dollar in the league.
Right.
So I think that's where they're going. But the second point about that is it can work, and you can go longer with these guys. Because I go back, and I think people don't understand this point. I go back to the Steve Young point.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Young's best quality was his legs when he first got in the NFL. But what happened, it put Steve Young in Hall of Fame status and made his running ability even more damaging to defenses, is when you put him with stars in the receiver room and the running back room where he didn't have to say he was the focal point of his rushing. It was a weapon, but you had to cover other guys. Lamar has never had that, but if you had added those things with him, he still would be a dynamic scrambler and runner, but he would be a focal point to have to do it all the time, which would make him even a more bigger weapon to the offense than just him saying, I got to create plays. If you gave him playmakers around him, he wouldn't have to create every play, every down, every game. That's where I think if you want to run a quarterback, you have to do those things where he could be a weapon with that, but you just can't put him around nobody and then expect him to last the duration of season after season with him just have to take that load on him. So I think that's how I would do if I had a dynamic guy like Lamar Jackson. I would put some guys around him, but I would still let him do his thing, but it wouldn't have to be a constant week in and week out type thing, and defenses will have a hard time stopping him because you got other weapons around him. So that's where I think the league should go. I think they are going to go that way with the shorter years and the more money. So that would be a smart investment type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I think that goes to your point about the Cowboys. I'm on board with it, and I'm on board for another reason that you may have not mentioned. But I'm on board with it because I'm still on my philosophy of the Green Bay, Seattle mix of this football team. If we think back when Mike McCarthy was with Green Bay, what was Aaron Rodgers' thing that he hurt people with? It wasn't no read option, but he hurt people with his legs and outside the pocket. He was a mobile quarterback. In his early years, that's what he hurt teams with his legs. Now, a lot of people say, well, he's passing on, but Aaron Rodgers could run the ball. He was a very athletic guy. So if you think about Schottenheimer used Russell Wilson's legs. I believe that Dak Prescott is going to use his legs in a smart manner more this year because they're going to say, if it's not Dak, don't force balls. Let's get out the pocket, use your legs, get first downs. Where I believe Mike McCarthy believes that aspect is very important of moving the sticks and keeping your weapons able to get the ball. So it does tell the fact that if they go that direction, that they should go with a guy that can use his legs because that's probably going to be a part of our offense. And that's where the NFL is going. I don't think Mike wants this offense to be stagnated and have a guy standing in the middle of the pocket because Aaron Rodgers didn't stand in the middle of the pocket. He always was a scrambler. He always got a thing in his younger days. His legs were very durable. He did do, and we're not talking about him running the ball 30 times, but to get out of situation, it's best for your quarterback to use his legs and to be a weapon. So that's going back to the skill set of Dak Prescott. He came in with that skill set. You have to utilize that skill set when you have it, but you can do it in a very smart manner, and you don't have to be risky with it, but it can be very effective.
Yeah.
So I see this offense going in that same direction of those two styles merging, and so these are the things that we want to see the difference. You can't tell me that Mike McCarthy and say, well, I'm not going to go out and tell the public that my quarterback going to run. But when you talk about differences, when Dak did use his legs, how effective we were this year. Very effective. And we're not telling him to be Lamar Jackson, but he does have the ability to sometimes not to throw an interception if it's not there, to get out of the pocket and run. And when they ran read option this year, Dak ran for boatloads of yards without being touched. And the only thing we ask Dak now to do is get your yards and slide to the ground. Don't try to run over people.
Yep.
So that's a major a part of this offense, and I think that they will try to get a guy that's kind of mobile to do those things. Now, my third point, I got to disagree with you somewhat.
That's cool.
You said about TCU. You said something about TCU. You never seen a guy lead TCU like Max Duggan. I like Mike Duggan, but Terrell Broncos was a bad man at TCU.
How far back you going, Coach? Don't be going back to the 40s.
If Borkins would have came out now, we would be talking about Borkins as that guy. Because Borkins was the man at TCU.
Man.
He was the man. So, and that's the last time that they was, but he was the man.
But hold on, Coach. Now, because you want to debate this, so let's go. I'm talking about.
You know Borkins was the man now. Borkins was the man.
I do. But Coach, but see, this is the thing, Coach. Listen, this is the thing. This is all I'm saying about Max Duggan. Like, I've never seen TCU. Now, Max Duggan, dog. But I'm saying I've never seen TCU so fast just turn around. And a lot had to do with him, you know. So you know, and the leadership, because that's one of the things he said. I take pride in having a Hertz style of leadership. They did rally around Max. He older, you know what I mean? He the big brother of the room, and I'm in Fort Worth. I'm around them a lot. I don't know the players, but Fort Worth and TCU is not like a. I called them the Flounders from The Simpsons. They very Christianish, very good. It's not like a college party school. It's a subdued. It's not a school known for dogs. You know what I mean? So it takes a special type of chemistry. But I'm with you on that, Doug. I ain't gonna fight you on that.
Borkin, you know that Borkin was the man.
He was he was the man. It is no doubt that Borkins was the man. All I'm saying is this was a Cinderella year, and I have to give credit to the guy who was the leader of a Cinderella team. That's it.
And Hooker, I got a little thing pushed back. I agree with the person who made the statement about Hooker came on the scene late. Their backup quarterback is going to be the next guy that's going to come on the scene that had their backup quarterback from Tennessee got an arm that's out this world. But anyway, and they played their offense. I think a lot of that is the product of their offense. But I do want you to add, I don't, say things without sending you stuff. So I don't send you something on Twitter. But I do want you to add.
I'm gonna check it out.
Dorian Thompson.
Yeah,
now,
I'm gonna look him up.
Dorian Thompson. Dorian Thompson has that offense he ran at UCLA, which I've got a word that somebody said something earlier. I think something that I heard that Mike McCarthy likes UCLA players because he has a relationship with their coach there, Skip Kelly.
Yep.
So, Bork and Dorian Thompson is that dog. Now he is that dog, that guy that would be doing that ring thing that my young lady did. He's that guy that competitive nature type guy.
Right.
Now, that guy, but it's still in the same plan. I'm not saying nobody's over the other person, but I do believe this guy is in that same mode that could be that type of
wildcat
guy.
Quarterback. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, and he's going to drop. You're not going to hear about him as strong, just like because the reason why you hear about Hooker because they was number one in the nation.
Right.
But Dorian got that same complexion that they're gonna push back on.
Yep.
But this guy could be a diamond in the rough.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So
yeah, I get it.
That's what I'm saying with that type of quarterback, and that's still gonna leave. That would still leave the Cowboys in a position because this is what you're going to see from this Cowboy team. Dak Prescott is going to use his legs more in this offense than he has used in the past.
Right.
They're going to go back to what makes Dak good, but he's going to do it in a smart manner. You can have a running quarterback that uses his legs in a smart manner and give the defense a lot to prepare for. We've been clamoring about it, but when we saw it last year, it worked. But the reason why you didn't see certain things, because Kellen Moore, that's not what he wanted.
Yeah.
So if you did see it a little, it might have been Mike McCarthy's influence. And that's what I said about Ben DiNucci. I think McCarthy drafted Ben DiNucci, but Kellen wanted to use Ben DiNucci like Cooper.
Yep.
You can't use them guys like that.
Oh, my God, Coach.
So it's the same way with all the other players that we said that was not utilized correctly. Mike McCarthy let him utilize the guys. We bringing a fullback in here. We drafted fullbacks before. McCarthy drafted fullback, but Kellen didn't want them, didn't use them, so he ended up cutting them. Yep. So the same thing that this is, we're going to see that type of Dak, and we're going to get a offense that I think was formed for Russell Wilson, that made Russell Wilson very efficient in his most efficient years. And it's going to strike deep. He's going to use his legs. He's going to hit guys on the run. And we need a quarterback that's going to back him up, that's going to give that same ability, as well as help our defense when we go to scout team, so it helps our defense to learn how to deal with mobile quarterbacks.
There it is.
Appreciate it, boss. Man,
I
hey,
appreciate it.
You were working earlier today, you're going to work late into the night, man. Keep
you
working,
already
brother.
know, Coach. We win championships in the offseason.
That's it.
For real.
Later, brother.
All right, later. And I mean what I just said, man. Championships are won in our season. Let me call my boy Tariq. Tariq, hopefully you still available, bro. Because I definitely want to talk to you. You know, Tariq been helping me behind the scenes with my phones. So some people don't even have to ask. When you help me, I'm going to appreciate you, man. And I'm going to make sure I show respect for you. So let me call the homie Tariq real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. Hold on. Somebody text me. Y'all give me 1 second, man. I'm trying to fix some things. Y'all give me 1 second. I want to call the homie Tariq. All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Don't go nowhere either. And while y'all doing that, I don't know how many people watching because I don't watch that. I just kind of do my show. Y'all make sure you hit that like real quick. You know, I always got to remind people to make sure we hit that like. It's obviously the lifeblood of the channel is likes, believe it or not, because likes basically tells YouTube that to recommend this video to other Cowboy fans. So if you like this content and you like the spirit and how we try to solve problems, the only thing that you can do if you can't donate and give cash apps and all that kind of stuff is just hit the like. That's a simple way to support this channel and the movement. I call this a movement, you know. Tariq, man, what's your number, bro? I don't see your number up in here no more. I'm trying to call you, bro. Tariq, I need to get your number, man. I usually used to call you from the history, but I don't see you in our history. So call in, bro, and then I'll call you back. But while I'm waiting on my boy Tariq, because I want to get him on the phone, man, that's a cool dude, man. Anybody that's helping me behind the scenes, answering my calls while they're at work, doing tests with me and all that kind of stuff, yeah, bro. And I have a new phone system that I do have to test, so I will be calling some of you about that. Oh, I think that's him right there. Tariq.
Yeah, what up?
All right, you sound good, bro. You
What's
sound
going
good. Yeah, you coming through clear as day. You like this? You like this new phone system, big dog? This is because of you, bro. We rocking like this. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like. What's going on? What's on your mind, homie?
Yeah, no doubt, boss. I appreciate that. What's up, Cowboy Nation? Yeah, man. I really didn't catch the beginning of the show. I came in like towards the middle of the show. I know you was talking about a mobile quarterback, so I'm trying to understand what you mean by we should get a mobile quarterback up in here with Dak Prescott.
I was more so saying a Wildcat, not just even a mobile. I want somebody that we basically going to commit to running a lot, using them in ways that we don't use Dak, kind of like Taysom Hill. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm throwing that out there is because to me there's too big of a talent gap between Cooper Rush and Dak. Like Cooper Rush got the heart to be our number 2 quarterback, but the talent gap is just too vast to me. And what I was saying was Hertz and the way that Philly used Hertz is, in my opinion, a smart way to make the legs the primary weapon on a quarterback that helps their arm. So with a Wildcat quarterback, and the reason why I call him a Wildcat quarterback is because he's used as an extra weapon, similar to what the Wildcat was done back in the day before it phased out. You know what I mean? So the new style that I think is trying to emerge into the league is building around guys that has weapons within their legs, but that can also throw. And then I was saying, just to sum it all up, because that gives you a reason to play these young guys now, these young quarterbacks now. You able to basically put them in positions that you wouldn't want to put Dak. Real dangerous situations, but they are an advantage because of their legs and their arm. And then on the business reasons, if you can really develop them, it puts contractual pressure on Dak. And I think it brings the best out of Dak by pissing him off and keeping his room competitive. I basically summed up the whole video.
Okay, well, I look at it like this. I understand what you're saying. what Philly did, and note that you said quit bringing Philly up, but you did.
No,
but,
no, you
so,
good.
But,
No, yeah, cool. You
you know what I mean? So,
No,
so we go. But I agree to a certain extent. I look at it like this. I see what you mean, because Philly did just bring in Mariota. And Mariota is a mobile quarterback too. He's a running quarterback too, a little bit, to back up Jalen Hurts. So that was a smart move on their part. So basically, you saying you want another quarterback behind Dak to mirror Dak in a sense, to where it's like, if he gets hurt, we're not really falling off too much to stop the train from going. That's basically what you're saying.
Basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that, because I've been saying for some years now, Dak Prescott's been getting hurt. He's been getting injured. And the Cowboys should look at this thing just like when they drafted Dak Prescott under Tony Romo, because this is around the same time Tony Romo started getting hurt in his later years. Because Dak been with us about 7 years, almost 8 years.
Yep.
So, and he's 30. So, yeah, it's time to get his successor in here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's been kind of time, and I think the writing's been on the wall. I think Cooper Rush is just a stopgap in between all that, but I still think that they should try to draft a guy this year, whether it be early in the draft or a little bit later in the draft. They need to try to draft Dak's replacement, and I really believe that Mike McCarthy is good at seeing talent to probably backup quarterbacks and know how to work with backup quarterbacks to potentially become starters, because he had to do, I don't know, he didn't really deal with the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation. He came in when it was just him and Aaron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, so my thing is like this. Yeah, they do need to draft a quarterback to put a little bit of a fire up under Dak Prescott, to let him know that, bro, we're watching you and you have to live up to your contract, because we need for you to get over the hump. I get it. I feel like that been needed pressure. You know what I mean? I'm happy that they got Kellen Moore up out of here, because now it's just the quarterback and a coach and offensive coordinator. But now it's no friends in there now. I got mad because I always felt like Kellen Moore was trying to live out his quarterback dreams through Dak Prescott, because Dak he probably felt like he should have been Dak Prescott, because if he didn't get injured, you know what I'm saying? And Dak came in right behind him and took his spot and Tony Romo's spot. Yeah. So it was some sour grapes in that locker room. So and then at the same time, being a competitor, I don't really believe Dak Prescott respected Kellen Moore. Or he liked him. They had a good relationship, but as like athletes and competitors, I feel like Kellen Moore couldn't hold Dak Prescott's jockstrap, after a while. So some of them times when Dak was out there doing bonehead stuff and not just doing something careless out there, and he go back to the sideline. I never seen Kellen Moore blow up at him or get mad at him. I never even seen him throw the tablet around on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that was too much. So to me, I feel like it was too much of a friendship. So I'm happy that Kellen Moore is gone. And at the same time, Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy has a lot riding on this year. The stakes are high. So they can't be jiving around. I really believe that I'm happy that it's just Mike McCarthy and Dak, because now Mike McCarthy, now we're going to see that real Mike McCarthy that's yelling at the quarterback like he did Aaron Rodgers back in the day when he did some dumb shit on the field. And Dak, I feel like Dak Prescott needs that pressure. He needs somebody on him. And I'm glad that him and Mike McCarthy sat down in the offseason and went over all his interceptions. Where he probably could have did better. I feel like that's good coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys saying, like you said, the championship gets built in the off season. So I believe that we got to keep on building these pillars up. But like you said before, we need a backup quarterback for Dak to be looking over his shoulders. Just like you took Tony Romo's job, we need to put you under the same pressure to where somebody else can take your job if you're not doing what we need you to do on the field. That's football. That's sport. That's sports, period. I feel like every top position needs some fire up under them. Even with our linebacker room, I still want to see more pressure. Even in our cornerback room, I want to see more pressure in these guys because LVE a 2-year deal, that's not really a good deal. Like he got 3 years, then we didn't like, okay, LV gonna be here for a minute. 2 years, they probably can opt out after 1. Who knows? Depends on what happens, because that neck thing, that's still kind of up in the air. So they need to draft another linebacker, a young linebacker behind him, or bring in a veteran linebacker that's just as good as him, if not better than him, for the low that's still out there. And with Gilmore being here, we still need to draft another young good corner to put in that room with these guys so they can battle it out, because we don't really know what's going on with those cornerbacks. Every position on this team need pressure on them. That's what I believe builds a good team. And then at the same time too, that makes us deep. So if somebody gets hurt going toward in the season or being in the playoffs, like we just saw in the playoffs, we can have somebody come in and back that up. We ain't gotta just rely.
Or maybe even get us to the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, it just makes sense, man. It's like you say, competition need to be a part of all the rooms. Somebody need to push Cooper Rush, somebody need to push Dak, and then Dak and Cooper Rush need to be pushing whoever the rookie might be. I just said last year when we was doing shows on Competition Tuesdays, it was clear that competition just made everybody better. It was clear. Like, when did LVE really start playing better?
When he had competition in the room?
Yep. When Clark was healthy, when Clark came and was active, and Clark came out there like a loose cannon and was firing like a bomb, all of a sudden LVE stopped catching. He started really tackling. He stopped all that catching with his chest bullshit. You know what I mean? It was the competition. So Mike McCarthy, to your point, embraces that, and hopefully we see it all up, like top to bottom. You know what I'm saying?
And I really believe we are. I really believe we are, because you can see the mentality of the Cowboys, some of the moves that they made already. You can see the mentality is changing, the culture is changing to more of a tough guy, bring your pedal to work, bring your hard head and your pedal to work type team, because all that glitz and glamour bullshit is walking under the door, and that's what we need in order for us to be a tough team again, because people like Stephen Catboy, Baby Nurse Jones, he wants to try to be the cheapest he can be to build a team, and it doesn't work like that. You can be you don't have to have the top notch player, but have just a good enough players on this team to go at the top notch players, because you can't. The way he was trying to run that stuff with Kellen Moore, that shit just didn't work. It always hit the wall. Every time we meet up against a good team that was well balanced and they had stars, we got our food ate. You know what I'm saying? We got our food ate, or we lost star key players in key moments, and we lost the game. Because you cannot sit here and tell me that we would have lost this game, or if we wouldn't have played a better game toward the end of that game against San Francisco, if Tony Pollard never gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because I really believe they let the dollar sign dictate the play on the field, and I think that's wrong for them to do that. And the reason I say that is because you cannot sit here and tell me when Zeke Elliott was all out there getting shut down, you don't bring the rookie dude in to try to make a change of pace. See if a change of pace can help us in the game. So that's stubbornness from Kellen Moore, that's stubbornness from the running back coach, that's stubbornness from these dudes, because they didn't at least like, let's just put this rookie in and see what would happen. Because they already knew they could shut down Zeke. They knew Zeke wasn't the same Zeke. The last 2 seasons we played these dudes in the playoffs, they knew that shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I like the fact that Mike McCarthy and Jerry and them is listening to Mike, but I still feel like Mike is on the hot seat, because we have to have a good season this year for him to be our coach from here on, because we don't know if they're playing the game that, and I'm about to get off the phone, we don't know if they're playing the game that, Mike McCarthy, we're going to measure you and how you're coaching this team, and how Kellen Moore is over there being an offensive coordinator over there in San Diego, with the LA Chargers, because that's still their son. That's not their bastard son. That's still one of their sons. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't want to get rid of him. He the bastard. So he's the bastard. Yep. So they really didn't want to get rid of him. So who's to say that if we don't have a good season this year, and Kellen Moore takes these helps take these Chargers further than us, that Steven the man over there like Steven ain't doing the bird hand rub and telling Daddy
He
and
is.
telling Daddy, can we get Jason Garrett Jr. back up in here
To be our head coach. That's
to
a
be the head
possibility.
coach?
That's a possibility, but see, I think Mike McCarthy welcomes that. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like you got confidence in yourself, Tariq. If
Yeah,
if you want a promotion at your job, you basically saying bet on me because I can get it done and I'm worth the money.
definitely.
But it's also saying without saying if I don't get it done, you can go find somebody else better. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I think Mike McCarthy wanted that pressure and he's gonna do something with it. And I think that's why he's saying right now he's never had as much fun. Cause see, Kellen Moore was more so in the way, in my opinion.
He was.
And it's unfair, but life is unfair, right? Life is unfair, bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I just like the fact that, at least he taking life by the horns and he's saying if I'm gonna go out, I'm not gonna go out based on the Trojan horse y'all gave me. I'm gonna go out with the philosophies that helped me win before. So
Yeah,
I'm with you on that, big dog.
Because my thing is like this: the people that was some of the fans that just don't care what the Cowboys do or the moves they make or how shady they can be towards some of these players, and they still love the team regardless. But the people that's the roots of the Cowboys, the fans that are the roots of the Cowboys, been calling them out because we see what they're doing, and what they're doing is not working, and they undermining good talent and good players. Because can't sit here and tell me that when Amari Cooper was here, that this dude Mike McCarthy wouldn't have used the hell out of him way better than what the hell Kellen Moore was doing with him on that offense. He did all right, but he didn't do stuff that needed to be done in crunch situations, and that's why I felt like we lost a lot of big games, crunch time games, because of lack of know-how, far as how to run certain plays in tight situations to get out of that. I seen Mike McCarthy do that plenty of times in Green Bay, and he did it against us a lot of times too when he was over in Green Bay. So that's the Mike McCarthy I want to see, and that's the Mike McCarthy I want to see, and I want to see the same Mike McCarthy that was in the Super Bowl against them Steelers and told Clay Matthews, "Go get me the football, so we can win this game." That's the Mike I want on this team.
That's the Mike we got, dog.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna holler at you, boss. I'll listen to the final word later. And peace, Cowboy Nation, man. The road to 6 starts now. Peace. All right.
All right, good call, man. That's obviously Tariq bring that sauce. Y'all already know that. All right, so yeah, a couple of super chats. So we talking about linebacker this Thursday on the Final Word Draft Show. So we gonna definitely talk about the linebacker from Indiana. So look forward to that. We gonna be talking about that big dog in detail. And then Common Sense Lab said, I love the thinking, but with Mike McCarthy possibly being gone next year, does that change your thinking with a possible philosophy change next year? No. It don't change my thinking because I'm all in for this year. I'm just not worried about next year, honestly. I think we so close, I want to put all my energy on this year. You know what I'm saying? That's why I also hope they doing that in this draft. Because if it's a contending year, because they, in my opinion, common sense, they handled free agency like it's an all-in. But see, I don't want them to go fall for the trap of Stephen Jones budget shit, where he over here now thinking, well, since we took care of free agency and went all in with free agency, let's go ahead and work on the future budgets through the draft. And what I mean by that is sometimes we trying to fire people before they're fired. So we'll go in there and like, let's get corner in first round. It's like, I like corner, but this year, corner probably, unless somebody get hurt, ain't gonna make us that much closer to getting over the hump. Because we set at corner. I don't see the logic in an all-in year. You see what I'm saying? I just don't see it. Even if corner might be the best player. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, I ain't feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Not this year. You know what I'm saying? So I want the philosophy of let's do the smartest things to have us win it now. Because this team is more complete in the last 3 years than it's been in the last 27 years. We've been saying these last 3 years that we have not seen a team like this since the 90s. I'm going to say that again. Most of us who saw the 90s have been saying we have not seen a team that's this good on both sides of the ball since the 90s. So even in 2014, when Romo won 10 games in a row, that defense in 2014 was literally called a no-name defense because they had no stars. The whole identity was the offense and the offensive line in 2014 because that defense was wump and average as hell. In 2016, when we won 11 games straight with Dak, that defense had the 31st ranked pass rush. So we've never had the complete teams that we have right now these last 2 years. So if it took us 27 years to get where we are, I'm not thinking about next year. I'm thinking about now. And so now, in my opinion, if we thinking about now, in my opinion, the position that gives us the best chance of contending and getting over the hump is left guard. And the way, in my opinion, that you do that is you draft one of these tackles. They also just redid the CBS ranks, so it's actually different now. The ranks that I was showing y'all a week ago is totally different right now. So what they're doing right now, they're updating. Everybody's updating their boards, preparing it for the draft. And I'm telling you right now, nobody historically, since I've been watching this, has a better feel for what's going on than CBS. I'm telling you that right now. Because I just checked. They just changed it as of now. I'm going to show you real quick. Let me just show y'all real quick. CBS has just changed their ranks. That means they pretty much done with the pro days and they are reshuffling their board right before our eyes. I'm giving y'all the facts. So let me just show you real quick. So this is, and I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to do this on draft day, dude. Watch on draft day when I'm going through this live. It is going to, trust me when I tell you this, it's not going to be any other list that's as accurate as this list in terms of when players get picked. It's going to be some wild swings. It was one wild swing last year. That was when Dean was drafted late. But everybody else was right in line with what they projected. Pretty much. So they just switched their order. I don't know if y'all peeped it, but the order is different. So Quentin Johnson moved down. Bijan Robinson moved down. Paris Johnson actually just moved closer to us. Ooh, Peter, I don't know how, but Peter, he moved up. And damn, but Paris moved down. That's crazy. So Nolan Smith moved up. Cam moved up. Micah Meyer, he moved up, which is crazy. I don't get that. That's crazy. Broderick Jones, of course, we did a film breakdown on him yesterday. We said he was rising, and guess who greatly rose? Remember on the former list that we were showing on CBS, he was 33. Now they got him ranked 21. Because we were telling you he was rising. We were telling y'all that. So Brian Reese rose. Osiris dropped. Zay Flowers dropped. Anton dropped just a little bit. So he was 26 at first. Now he 28. So Steve rose, right? Steve is rising, right? So that means he's getting closer to being a potential first round pick. Even for the Dallas Cowboys, he's rising. Matthew dropped. Let me see. And I think they dropped Jones all the way to hell. Let me see what they did with Jones. Oh my God. They done put DeJuan Jones. They done dropped DeJuan Jones to 57. I told y'all this dude gonna be DK Metcalf because the same thing happened with DK Metcalf. Yeah, and see, let me show this comment real quick from Super Common Sense. He said, "I agree. I super chatted 2 weeks ago. OLEL is the only position at 26 that keeps the Super Bowl window open now and in the future. I think it's the best, like the best. It's just too many. It's too many dominoes, Common Sense, that fall. Too many dominoes. It's too many dominoes that fall. Like one of the things that I said today, I'm gonna just show y'all this real quick. The Cowboys have been juggling left guard since Ronald Leary left. Most people, I don't see how our fans don't get that. Because people like, you can go find a starter. Boss, come on, you can find a starter. Come on, we just want... I don't want just a starter. I want offensive line dominance. I'm certain our fans have forgotten what it's like to have offensive. I do like DeWan. Yes, I like DeWan. I'm happy he dropping because it make us more than likely to be able to get him. I love DeWan. So I'm happy he dropping because that make us that much closer to being able to get him. But yeah, but then check this out. I'm certain though. I'm certain on what I'm saying on this tweet. Sadly, I'm certain Cowboy Nation has forgotten how the offensive line carried bad to average defenses. I'm certain we forgot. Because if we remembered, do y'all remember what it was like when the Dallas Cowboys in 2014 showed up to Seattle? And Seattle was still known as a super team. And we smacked them in their mouth. And we kept it on the ground. Do y'all remember that? Seattle was known for being bullies. And DeMarco Murray went in there with that offensive line. And they smashed them on the ground. DeMarco Murray was averaging 6 and Randall was averaging 5.5 on the ground. We smashed Seattle. In Seattle. See, boys forgot that. You couldn't have done that if you didn't have Leary, Fredericks, and Zach Martin in that middle being some terrorists. People forgot that. So, because we forgot, we ask Bougie now. We don't need to have the best offensive line, boss. Come on, you can't have everything. It's like, what made you so damn average? What made you just cool with being okay? We saw okay with Connor Williams. How did that work out? We saw okay with Connor McGovern. How did that work out? How about we go back to dominance? Oh, boss, you've been too ambitious. Why take Tyler Smith and move him to left guard, boss? He's already getting ready to be the greatest left tackle that God has ever seen, boss. No, move that dude to... Because, see, this is the thing. We got a way better track record at finding left tackles or tackles and developing tackles than we do at guard. Let me take this call because I know this dude. What's up, Mr. Morris?
Hey, boss, what's going on?
Man, what's going on, man? I was just getting ready to get off the show, but when I saw your name, I said, let me take this call. What's up with it?
All right. I want to see, you talking about the offensive line.
Yep.
All these mock drafts, everybody's talking about all these weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't care if you got Jerry Roster in. If your offensive line is not any good, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And one thing about it, if they show up our offensive line the way they should, for me, that I guarantee you right now, they win 13 games just by showing up the offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I wanted to say to you.
No, I appreciate it, Mr. Morris, man. Thanks for the call.
All right, no problem.
And this is a very good comment by Coach Q. And I agree with this too. Ooh, I agree with this. Ooh, I agree with this. Dwayne Jones dropping allows you to trade down and get more premium picks like Parsons. I agree. I agree. Yes. 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 And see, don't get too caught up on some of these guys dropping. Because see, let me tell you, see what CBS is doing, they're keeping up with the rumors of what's happening with the draft community. That's what's happening. And they ranking them based on what they're hearing in the streets. See, but I'm telling you, you hear some very dumb stuff in the streets. So don't think because some of these dudes dropping because the scouting community is catching up to where they're basically saying you're not all that like we thought you were after taking a closer look at you. Some people drop because of that. Dean dropped because of that last year. Because remember, early Dean was considered top 15. You crazy if you don't like Dean. And then I went through the linebacker group and I was comparing him to a whole bunch of linebackers. And I started saying and seeing, I was like, shit, Dean ain't all that I thought he was. I promise you. And on the last week, I dropped Dean. Just like the scouting community. I dropped him. I had him as my number one linebacker. I moved him all the way to my fifth. I almost dropped him out of my top 5. And no, it wasn't because of injury. No, they was talking about a pick. You ain't gonna drop nobody over no pick. Nah, they dropped him because of film. That's what dropped him. They caught up. Ooh. And see, I ain't mad at this. Said it. I ain't mad at this. He said James Slater just said the Cowboys view Steve as a more athletic run. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at that. My only thing is I really want you to be that if we draft you. Cause they see, I know Tyler Smith is a more athletic run lyric. I'm not quite sure Steve is. I'm not quite sure. I'm just being honest. I know you could get that push that you want to get. I know you could get exactly what you want if Tyler Smith was the left guard. But if we get Steve at 26, I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it. I ain't going to like it. I'm going to love it, like my boy Law say. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying, though, because, see, we go do the film breakdown. Once we do the film breakdown, just y'all let me know if I'm tripping. If I'm tripping on any one of these guys, let us know. Because we actually break these guys down. And the tape that we look at, because we got some more film to come up. So let me tell you what we got coming. We got the final word tonight. We got another film session coming up on DeJuan Jones. And we go show him against top-ranked edge rushers, so you can really get a feel of what he really is, right? So I don't know how some people do film, because I know some people, they just pull up any film. I don't pull up any film. I try to find film that's gonna tell me what you're like versus quality competition, because I'm not quite interested on how you performed against North Texas. I want to see what you did against somebody. Like, for instance, I remember back in the day, the draft community was real high on Dale Pitt from LSU. A lot of us wanted him at that time at pick 17. It was a whole lot of noise in the streets about Dale Pitt from LSU to safety. I dropped the hell out of Dale Pitt. Dropped him. Get out the first round. I dropped the hell out of him. Why? Because of how he played in big games. I mean, everybody grade tape different. I'd grade tape on big games. That's one of the biggest things that I look at. How do you perform when it's the pressure? How do you perform against somebody that I know is a first round guy? That's why the tape we was looking at yesterday, when we was looking at Broderick Jones, we was looking at him against BJ from LSU. Because I want to know, what do you look like against first round talent? I'm not interested in what you doing against North Texas. Of course you dogging North Texas. You supposed to. I want to see, what do you do, Dale Pitt, when these three weapons show up, and one of them is named Jerry Jeudy, the other one is named Ruggs, and the other one is named D. Smith. And I want to see what you do against them first rounders, because all the weapons in the league is made up like them three dudes. Every week you'll go against dudes like them three. So I want to see what you do against those dudes. And that's why I dropped him. And I was right. I was right. You know? And I think that's what's... Yeah, Montana, I can't fight you on that. See, I can't fight you on that. I just can't. I can't fight you on that. So, cause see, this is the deal. It depends on how you judge your film. Like some people say, I don't judge players off one game. Some players I do. Cause I can watch 4 of your games against way less competition, but the main game that I need to watch is, what did you do against equal competition? And whatever that is go strongly outweigh what you did against inferior opponents. That's how I grade. Some people grade different. Some people just turn on the tape and start talking. That's cool. That's how they do it. I don't just turn on anybody's tape. When I picked all the films for all the people we getting ready to... So for instance, when we talk about Steve and we show y'all Steve, we showing y'all against Michigan. Why? Because he going against Massey Smith. That's important. Because Massey has a top grade in the community. So the matchup between Steve and Massey is important. That's how I see it. I don't care if Steve balled out against some old weak ass teams. I don't care about that. I don't care if Massey balled out against some weak ass teams. I don't care about that. I would look at it. I will enjoy it. I will say, ooh, he's so bullying, but I'm not going to put nothing down solid until I see you go against Steve and Steve go against Massey. That's when I'm going to say, okay, those matchups are important. So y'all stay with us, man. We got a lot this week. Again, we got the final word tonight. Y'all already know that. So with the final word that's going down, I'm going to have a whole lot more of these that I'm going to be dropping, the videos. Hopefully y'all like this one, because the book is full of this type of thought. What we talked about today was the type of thoughts that's in the book, right? That's exactly what I talk about. Is stuff that can improve the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, some of it is outside the box. Yes, some of it is some y'all didn't want to hear. It's a whole lot of people that love Dak that hate the thought of us bringing in competition for Dak. They hate it. But, hey, I believe that makes us better, and that's the type of content that I'm going to put out there. So we going through this video series. We've already went through a lot of them. So we went through tackle. We went through running back. We went through receivers. We went through guard. Right? So now we got a lot of defense to go through, and then we go release the book. So y'all gonna have two ways of consuming all this content. Y'all gonna be able to read it, or y'all gonna be able to go through the video. And then I'm also create a playlist of all of this too. So all of this stuff is gonna be archived. I'm gonna be on record on all of these ideas. I'm not gonna be able to avoid. The receipts are already out there on the things I'm saying. And I'm willing to stand on that because I do the work. If I was afraid of the work, I wouldn't care. I would care deeply about receipts of things that I've said. But because I do the work and I'm confident in what I see, and I'm confident on the type of work I do, I'm confident that I'm not leading Cowboy Nation wrong. I'm doing my best to put out ideas that I really believe puts us closer to a championship. On this particular show, I do believe having a Wildcat style quarterback moves us closer. I believe you can upgrade from a Cooper Rush and close that talent deficit between him and Dak Prescott. I really do believe that's possible. I do think that's a good idea. I think I would target the Hendon Hooker types, the Max Duggan types about every 3 years. I would. That's exactly what I'm thinking in terms of my strategy. But y'all continue to like this type of content. I appreciate it for everybody that called in. Y'all stay tuned for the final word. Y'all know that's gonna be fire. But until then, man, it's Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter, and we gonna continue to get it. Peace. Another one.
Another one.
Let's go.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
It matter. Run it up. We ain't throwing interceptions like Romo.
I need the cash pronto. I don't throw interceptions like Romo.
We ain't throwing them interceptions like Romo. Speaking my mind.
Bringing real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
Let's go. Finesse him.
Finesse. 2 on.
Let's go.
Cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Sports.
Run it up.
Run it up.
Let's go.